tell you about that named Jeff Stacy. Got caught up in a wild case. Oh baby, Chris Hansen, he was waiting for him secretly to catch him in a sting. Oh, what a sight to see. Now Jeff had a voice like Mickey Mouse, oh yeah. It was high pitched and squeaky like nothing you ever heard. He thought he could charm his way out of any trouble, but Chris Hansen had a plan to burst his bubble. Jeff Stacy, oh Jeff, what you gonna do? You got caught in the act. Now the whole world knows it's true. Jeff Stacy, oh Jeff, you're in a funk. When the cops came knocking, you tried to stick a pin in your neck. Catching predators, it's a serious business. Chris Hansen bringing justice, he can't play witness. But Jeff Stacy, he thought he could escape the scene, trying to stick a pin in his neck to avoid the questioning. Now the police were like, hold up man, what's going on? Jeff was acting crazy like a whole new phenomenon. They had to roll him down and take him into custody. There's desperate attempts left everyone in disbelief. In interrogation room, the tension was high. Jeff Stacy swiping bullets, no alibi. He thought he could outsmart him, but oh, what a shame. Sticking that pen in his neck was a desperate play. Oh, oh, oh.
Too bad they tracked him through the night and the day, but her phone turned, burnt her dream, all gone to waste. Oh, he was clever, thought he had it all planned. Fist on the wheel like a hammer in his hand. Too bad they tracked him through the night and the day, burnt her phone, turned, burnt her dream, all gone to waste. Oh, Levente running from the ghost in his past. Mom's shadow creeping, never thought it'd last. Hot on his tail, lawman closing in the chase, caught in a storm of his own disgrace. Miles fly by, eyes burning from the strain. Old memories like shackles causing constant pain. Every turn, every curve, feeling like a trap. Silent night, screaming loud in his lap. He hit the gas like a bullet from a gun. Truth behind him, but nowhere to run. Thought of freedom as a faraway place. Now he's tangled in an iron embrace. Road to nowhere, lined with flashing red lights. Heart pounding loud into the dark of night. Mama's whisper echoing back home. Levente's tribe came across to roam. All Levente running from the ghost in his past. Mom's shadow creeping, never thought it'd last. Hot on his tail, lawman closing in the chase, caught in a storm of his own disgrace. Caught in a storm of his own disgrace.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
And welcome to the show. My name is Dave, and this is FFOP Radio. Back at it for a little bit more true crime, as we always do it around Flamingo Friday o'clock. That being said, let me introduce my co-host and producer right there off camera is Krista.
Hello.
So, let's jump right into it. But by that I mean, let me unpack it a little bit for you. So, for this case, what we have here is another... in the vein of Chandler Halderson and Joel Guy Jr., we have a parent annihilator on our hands. He only had one parent to annihilate, which he did. So, to unpack it, if you're unfamiliar with Levente Lazar, and like, what a name. So, the long and the short, a lot of this is going to come out in the wash of the interrogation, where there's some stuff I need to unpack, and I want you to be caught off guard, like when the detective goes, we got all the evidence. You go, oh my God, me too. I was confused. So here's what happened. Levente and his mother lived in Hungary. He was born there. She was born there, obviously.
Hungary.
They move...
Hungary.
Hungary. Let's say Hungary. Hungary. They come here and move to California. I think they settle around L.A. So Levente here, through one thing or another, goes to all these colleges. He ends up in Indiana. So he lives in Indiana, going to college with his girlfriend. For whatever reason, and that's the thing, that's one of the things that you'll get a lot of, is like, there was no motive. There's no motive. There's a pretty strong financial motive. Maybe there was some abuse as a child. I don't know. Indiana, I do say. I don't know what... It'll come out in the interrogation. I'm just not sure what part. But he just decided, one day... Not decided. It was a premeditated thing. He went and just drove across the country to stab his mom to death. So... The way that they found out was like she was constantly reliable, right? So one day she just doesn't show up at her job, and her boss is like, "Hey, I'm going to call the police, get a welfare check, because this is totally unlike this her name is Athena Valentini." So that's not like Athena. So they send the cop. They go, and there she is in her bedroom, like stabbed. There's like she's got a blanket and stuff on her, like he kind of threw some stuff over her after he was done. So they go, I don't know. At the first part, they don't know if she took herself out or if it was a homicide. One thing leads to another. They go do a visit to Levante at his apartment in Indiana, and you can watch that body cam footage because it's out there. He's like, oh, hey, hi, I'm like the cop knocks on the door and he's like, hey, I'm from the police, obviously. He's like, can I come in? I got something to tell you. And he's like, oh, yeah, sure. Look out. We got a dog. And it's like a giant Labradoodle. So it's like, oh, whatever. And he goes like, yeah, your mom's dead. And he goes, oh, my gosh. Is there something I should do? Like, he acts completely antithetical to a human, which is what I think the biggest problem is. Like, he's going to start off this interrogation laughing because, he's just a monster. But, and it's all going to come out. But the one thing that started off this, like, roller coaster of madness is like, you don't want to ever start your plan by asking for it, like this specific item. Say, I'd like to buy a burner phone.
Nice.
Because when you ask for a burner phone, like the person at Best Buy that you're asking that is going to go, whoa, that's weird. Like, because people who use burner phones don't call them burner phones. Like, cops call them burner phones because you use them and you can burn them. Like, no drug dealer or any, like, real criminal who's looking for a burner phone, right, is going to walk into a Circle K or a Best Buy or a Target and get a track phone or whatever and pay cash. You go, where are your burner phones? Yeah. Okay, so it's Bloomington. Thank you. We went to the Indiana University. But yeah, Bloomington, I knew it was in a big spot because they don't stick universities in small cities. So anyway, he gets this burner phone, and what an idiot. Like, here's the thing. Burner phones only work, number one, if you don't call the burner phones to the person you're asking about them to, and if you leave all your other electronics at home. So, like, if you bring your iPad and your own phone and you turn them on every once in a while to hook up to a Wi-Fi signal, that's still totally traceable.
Yeah.
Because that's what part of this all comes out is, like, he brought his Wi-Fi enabled Apple iPad, and like it checked into a McDonald's in Arizona, like in Kingman, Arizona.
Of course it did.
And he lived in Indiana. So they go, that's weird. Arizona's on the way to California. So it's all gonna like they have that already. They checked in on them, and obviously you go from the inside out, looking at the closest the closest relations, like the husbands, the wives, the sons, the daughters, is all that they're good shit.
Right, immediate family.
Yeah. And so obviously, who else are they going to look at? And P.S., since everybody's got a Ring camera and there's CCTV everywhere, he was caught all across the country by like plate readers and toll booth cameras and the cameras around his mother's neighborhood.
So it's not like even if he didn't bring his iPad, he wouldn't have gotten caught.
No, like that's the thing. It was doomed from the start.
Right.
And the one of the things is like one of the sticking points of this case is to a lot of people is like he had a dog and named it Athena, like after his mom, I guess. But when he went off to college, he couldn't take the dog, so he'd stay with his mom. And this dog was notorious for not going or interacting fondly with anyone it didn't already know. And so there's footage of the alleged murder, but it's not alleged. He was convicted of him walking with the dog next to him, leashless. So it obviously knew him.
Right.
Like, why would that dog just fall in love with its owner's murder if it didn't already have a pre-existing relationship? But the second thing about that is they don't know where the dog ever ended up. Oh. It just disappeared because he had that big Labradoodle in Indiana. And this little, they called it a beagle. It's like some mutt mix. But like, nobody knows where it is, if it's alive or dead. Like, it'll come up in the interrogation too. Like, he'll say, was the dog dead? He's like, I don't know anything about the dog. And he's such a piece of shit. So, that's what we're going to get into, is what I'm getting at. It's like, I've unpacked that a little bit for you. He drove across the country, left just like a multi-state like trail of evidence. And here's another thing I'm going to tell you too, because part of his like dumbass plan was to like, when he was out in California, to like buy $100 worth of weed. So he traveled like 1,600 miles to buy like less than an ounce, obviously, like so I don't know what that is like in this time period. I don't know how much $100 would get you in California at a local, but a legal dispensary. But he's like, that's why I didn't tell you. I didn't want to get caught because I was traveling across state lines with drugs. Here's the thing. If there's a big, huge T-bone steak of a crime on the table, like, give the police your peas, your carrots, and your mashed potatoes. Right. And by that, I mean, tell them everything that will come across as like, why did you hide that? Because it won't be until like 40 minutes into the interrogation. He was like, do you want to know what the real reason? Like, because he spends the first, denying it. It was not me. It's not me. It's not me. Okay, so someone who's not you took your car with your face and your devices across the country. Whatever. It's just like, I forget where I was going.
And then he was like, oh, the real reason why I came was for the weed.
The real reason was like, he goes, okay, all cards on the table. I drove across the country to buy $100 worth of weed. And he goes, that's the stupidest fucking story I've ever heard. He's like, I got the receipts. I still got the container of weed at my house.
That's great.
So you went across the country, you didn't smoke it yet, dude? Yeah, we got another Hoosier alum. So let's...
How far, like, from them finding out she was deceased to this interrogation, do you know? It's
been a while because they had to, like, they already found out about the burner phone. They got all the footage of every camera across the country. And also, this is happening in Indiana. So we're watching, like, he hasn't been shipped out to California yet, but it does happen at some point. But this is all taking place in Indiana, and this detective's name, first name is Casey. You're going to hear that a lot. Second PS, this is the footage, like the interrogation footage from the Law and Crime Network via Crimetastic. So you can subscribe to both of those channels as I do. So, I mean, get ready for it because it's, I don't know, man. It's like Sarah Boone levels of denial, like Joel Guy Jr. levels of like parental homicidal tendencies, and a bunch of other like cast of characters are all just sort of melded into Levente here.
Ryan wants to know, did he make a post on his mom's Facebook account saying he was glad she died?
I don't remember. I feel like probably because the way he's going to come off so flippant, it's like he we're just going to do it. We'll talk about it in a sec.
I wanted to first, again, extend my condolences.
Thank you.
This is a very difficult
Yes.
thing to deal with, and I just wanted to let you know that we all
Oh, that was a Gypsy Rose joke. Sorry, Ryan. Matt's not here to bring me my Gypsy Rose content.
wanted to extend our condolences and work very hard on this case.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
very
you
difficult
for
losing a
working on
parent.
that.
I've lost one as well, and so
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I actually lost 2 parents now. Because
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like one died and then the other. It's like, wow, what a comedy of errors.
I mean, some people, obviously not him. I'm not saying that he is this kind of person, but some people don't know how to act when somebody says something like that, when
I get
something
that, but,
tragic's
like,
happened. But not for him.
It doesn't. I get that some people are like have awkward laughter in like adult or mature situations or high tense situations, but like that laughter always seems like forced and like sweaty. His just feels like totally at ease. Where it's like, yeah, can you believe that both of my parents are dead? And luckily, when my mom died, it sort of fixed my financial pitfalls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's happening with Rod.
I spent a night in jail in Bloomington, and this is making me feel nostalgic. Hits me right in the feels.
Did you ever talk to this guy?
Were you in that room?
Incredible patience, Casey, this detective has.
my father passed away from a heart attack. So my biological father.
Right, you
So-
said that was before you guys
Sam
came
and
over.
Tony.
Yeah, so I was born in 1992,
Ugh.
and my parents married 2 months after I was born.
What a
And
bastard.
he passed away in 1995 from a sudden heart attack in the middle of the night.
Oh, wow.
My mom just woke up and found him passed away. And then in 1997, we immigrated here because the Hungarian laws, when it comes to like adoption and stuff, is if the father passes away, then the child goes to the father's parents, so my grandparents. And my mom was scared of losing me, so we fled the country.
So, like listening to this now, now I'm sitting here like critically thinking about the math of it. 92, he's born. 95, his dad dies, and the Hungarian laws say that according to him and according to adoption, is if the dad dies, the grandparents get the kid.
Yeah.
2 years had elapsed since the dad died in 95 because they fled in 97. So this feels a little bit like bullshit, but I don't know why you would lie about that. Like, there's no reason to be like, yeah, we left Hungary because, like, that's, and like, number two, why would grandparents be like, yeah, let us, like, no, that feels weird and wrong. I don't know why. He's a pathological liar, in my opinion. So I don't know why he's telling this bizarre story, but I feel like every family has stupid stories that if you aren't being force-fed them at every holiday and you're outside of that family, it just makes like no sense to you. Like, you ever hear somebody else's stories when you visit a different family on Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever,
Right.
and they tell a story that like probably has been passed down for generations. You go, that makes no fucking sense, my guy.
This is weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we came.
Wow.
We went to Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and then we kind of
Yeah.
built a life from there. So
Okay. Well, I did want to give you more information now
okay,
about what we found out in California,
okay,
and I got a copy of your mom's trust stuff, so I hope I give you that today,
okay.
and you can look through.
And that's like a crazy thing too. Like if someone dies and you're not involved, I don't believe the police would deliver a copy of the trust. However, like if you're clever and Levente isn't, if you were clever, like that'd be a big red flag right there. It'd be like lawyer because he knows he's guilty. But when the policeman goes, well, I was able to locate it, like your mom's trust, and obviously it's going to be damning. No matter how much you throw your hands in the air and go like, I had no idea I was going to make a whole bunch of money. If you're in an interrogation room and he's like,
And it
I've
comes
got
up.
your dead mother's trust.
Yeah. It's usually like a lawyer.
Yeah, like that's the slightest tipping of the detective's hand, and it already hits me like a ton of bricks. Like, someone on your side should be delivering that, not someone who's like, hey, thanks for coming down and answering a few questions about, and we're
The
going to read
thing.
your Miranda rights. That's a hello.
Through it just real quick. So in order to share this stuff with you and talk to you about it, I had given an advisement because we're in a police department. So
Okay.
Yeah, I can't talk about your mom's trust without your Miranda
rights
rights.
against you in court. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you have the rights of presence of an attorney before and during any question, if you wish. can't afford one can be appointed for you free of charge.
Oh, he's going to take a card
Sorry,
out.
that's just a formal advisement.
I understand.
I'm not going to
it-
make you
I-
sign anything.
It did place to place.
Yeah.
I love it when they can just recite it by memory because it feels a lot less like there's a stranglehold. Like, I don't know, if you're like me and not a fan of bureaucracy, I get irritated when detective technology pulls out the card, or anytime we have to see them pull out a card, and it just sort of turns it into like it removes the layer of mystique that we're just two dudes trying to build up some rapport because we're friends and we're in a windowless room for circumstances beyond our control.
Right.
Like if the point of it is to break down, the psychological barriers via friendship, like at some, I don't even have anything that looks like a card, but like to be like, now before we get started as friends, I gotta read you your rights. You understand that? And you already have to stop. Most places you already have to stop after each line to be like, do you get me?
Yeah, right.
Roger that.
And then like initial your name somewhere.
Whatever. I just like that. When it's smooth as silk, it's appreciated. Like if I ever if I ever get pulled into an interrogation room because I'm suspected of something and they pull out a card, I'm just going to go, lawyer. Like you don't even have the time to like pretend like we're going to be friends while you're
right.
basically telling me that I'm not going to be friends with you.
Right. That card. And even just like starting off with the paperwork. It
Your
just
trust.
seems like so you're signing your life away on something that you know.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, police are doing their homework, even though they always ask, like, let me get your name, first name, last name, what's your address, where do you go to school? Like, here's the thing. If you're not suspected of the crime, they're going to be like, okay, what did you see?
Right.
They're not going to go like, oh, what was your favorite breakfast cereal growing up?
First, what I kind of wanted to do, we've talked a few times on the phone, and I want to make sure I got a little background on your mom correctly.
Okay. She's from Romania.
Okay.
She was born in a small town called Buza. It's spelled Busza.
SCA.
And Romania.
I hate Levante's voice.
Is that where you were born too?
No, I was born in Budapest.
In Budapest.
Yes.
And you said you went to Berkeley, Davis, and then...
Yeah, so I went to
Came out
Berkeley
here.
my first 2 years, and then I went to Davis for my last 2 years.
Okay.
So I transferred. And then afterwards, I graduated 2014, and then I moved out here in August of 2015.
Okay. When you came out here, did you come specifically to go to the university?
Exactly. I was admitted here for my
Exactly.
master's in history.
Admitted. I was admitted.
Okay.
Another thing that and they're gonna get into it a little bit, but like his stepdad, like because his mom's dead, obviously, and his dad died of that mysterious heart attack where they had to flee 2 years later. But there was something, and they're gonna get into it here, but like. It doesn't come up until like a little bit later. His stepdad was like in an accident or something, and so he got paid like $15,000 a year for some settlement.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like it just feels like every adult in his life like died under somewhat mysterious circumstances, and that's why I'm like, did he die of a heart attack, and why did it take 2 years? And
I'm able to apply to different grants and scholarships because of my background. So as an immigrant, as a single mom, that sort of thing. So
another thing that annoys me about him is he went from Hungary to California to Indiana, but he sounds like a Jersey Shore dude.
search for it.
I'm just like, yo, dog.
It kind of pays off.
So your girlfriend's going to school still, right?
Correct.
Okay.
She's right now she's a third-year medical student. So she has 1 more year, and she's going to finish that year up in Indianapolis. So we've actually been looking to rent a house up in Indy.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're
And
gonna
we're
rent
gonna
a
be
house
moving April of next year.
behind bars.
And you said you last went to California to see your mom in January?
Of this year. I think January 6th. That's what Hannah said.
That's a lie. So I think, obviously, duh. But like this takes place in October.
Yeah, because this footage here is November.
Yeah, so it had like the event, the murder happened in October. So when he's like, yeah, it hasn't been since January of this year, it's like the timeline gets a little weird at points.
I said.
Okay.
2018. So that was the last time I saw her in person. Because right now I'm starting to learn how to become a retail investor or just a trader, so trading stock options and futures. I realized that it's best to be employed because if I don't, I'm going to pay more taxes.
This is a normal conversation to have with a detective about, hey, your mom was murdered. Like, hey, I'm in day trading now, so like, it's pretty cool. I guess I should have a job, but it's like, what a bummer, right?
Access my phone or to come to my house or anything like that. You don't need a warrant. I can invite you in.
Okay.
I didn't make that clear on the phone, or if I did, I forgot.
I can
But
invite you in like a
I just want
vampire.
to kind of help in
No,
any way I can.
You know, my mom's dead. I just want to kind of help in solving her murder, if I can. You know, it's not too much of a big deal.
I appreciate that, and that's
So-
what I'm looking for, is a little bit of help here.
Levente.
Like, it's, I don't know. Obviously, you've seen him like laughing, and like now he's like, oh yeah, by the way, because he knows. Again, I already told you, but you now, like with the benefit of that hindsight, like he knows he had that burner phone, and it's God knows where. But that's the thing. Just to double down on the burner phone being like a semi-stupid idea, is like, if they don't know when or where it was bought, it's probably hard or impossible to trace or track. However, if you're caught on camera and they can match up the time code and find out the phone number, then they can totally track it. I think the essence of a burner phone is you buy it in secret.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a burner phone.
Like you have somebody else buy it and then you buy it from
Right,
them.
'cause
And
even
then
if you pay cash, like there's a barcode on there and it enters into a computer and you have to activate it somehow, even if you use a fake name like, you know, Dick Ramrod or whatever. You'd still have to, like, maybe he uses Sonny Porter as an alias to set up like his thing. Like they could be like, oh, well, here's the serial number. We'll just give it to Boost Mobile or fucking TrackPhone or Cricket.
The case was settled in 2009. There was kind of a stipend laid out for me. So between 2010 and 2013, I would receive about $15,000 a year.
Okay.
So I didn't have to work when I was in college. Basically, I was very lucky.
There's something too, like with his financials, like I think he was supposed to pay taxes or have taxes taken out and he didn't, and that's part of the problem. But, you know.
Very lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 2017, I received $90,000, and I paid off most of my student debt there. I put most of it in my savings, opened up an IRA
pay
account,
taxes on
started
it.
trading, kind
Nicolas
of
Caged
looking
it.
long term. And then I have another one final payment of $200,000. Not exactly $200,000. It's $200,000 and change. In 2022 when I'm 30. Not when I'm 30, but July 5th, 2022. So after.
Like, he was 4 years away from another $200,000.
right.
Like, even the worst debtors, right? Like, what does he have? Like a bunch of credit? Like, he doesn't own a house. He's got an apartment,
Right,
so it's not like they can repossess anything necessarily. All he would have to do is like do the bare minimum, and in 4 years, he would have enough to pay for basically everything all over again.
Right.
But like, and that's the thing. It's not even like a Joel Guy Jr. where like the end was coming, or a Chandler Halderson where like he was a walking dead man anyway, because like Bart Halderson already found out there was no whatever his name was, Smythe, and all the emails were from Chandler. It like Joel Guy Jr. was like, you're getting cut off, so get ready for it. It wasn't like a splash of cold water. He just had to sit and fucking do nothing.
Right.
For 3 years and change.
He could have, yes, right. He was going to school. He could have gotten a part-time job if he really, but he was doing the whole investing thing. So
Right, and that's why I think, because again, the motivation or whatever is murky, but the prosecution doesn't have to prove motive; it just has to prove that you did it. Maybe the financial aspect might have been a little like the tipping point, but it just feels like, I don't know. It's one, like, because he stabbed her 40 some odd times.
damn.
So it was obviously overkill. So like a financial crime, like most financial murders or whatever, don't have like such a grand amount of overkill. Like the oh god, like the antifreeze poisoners who like try to get money out of their dead husbands or whatever. Like you do it in a way that isn't going to be like super suspicious or cause massive overkill because they go, what the fuck? But like, if you're going to go, well, it was financially motivated, like that would cover the first 10 stabs maybe, but there was fucking 40 plus.
Yeah.
Like that's rage.
After my birthday. I think very much into the future. I have a 3, 5, 7, and 10-year plan. And it's not really something
Why not have a 4-year plan when you get the 200 grand? Be like, hey, that's when I should whatever.
that I execute, like
Are any of
bullet
those
point
plans
down, but it's just
behind
a
bars?
general idea. It's
No, you say execute and bullet in the same sentence. So let's talk about that. He didn't use a gun.
like a direction.
So another thing, so you told me you and your mom have identical cars?
Correct.
Okay.
The vehicle's just around here.
Oh, your vehicle?
My vehicle,
Okay.
yes.
So it's a
how
white
we
Jeep
got it.
Patriot?
Yeah, my
Correct.
mom's
Oh,
in
there we go.
California.
13, I think.
Your mom's dog, that initially was your dog, right?
Initially, yes.
Athena?
So, sophomore year of high school,
Uh-huh.
it's 2007. I mentioned that I never had a dog. And
To your
all
mom?
my friends, to my mom, and all my friends had dogs and cats and stuff like that, but we've never had an animal.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned it, and she went to a pound in Agora Hills, and she just found a little beagle, and she brought it home.
And it wasn't a pure red beagle, whatever. Doesn't it feel like Levente is the type of human that like saw normal things happening and didn't necessarily want the dog because like it doesn't like I think Athena wanted the dog more than anything, but like because he's like, oh, all my friends, because he didn't say I really wanted a dog or I wanted a dog all my life because we never had one. He just said all my friends had cats and dogs, so I brought it up to my mom. That's like, oh, I noticed all my friends had Ninja Turtle figures, so I brought that up to my mom and she bought me all of them. Like, yeah, hey, all my friends seem to have like G.I. Joes, Mom. What's up with that? And she goes, oh, yeah, you should have all of them. Like, what? No, you go to your mom and you say, please get me XYZ. In this case, it would have been a dog, but it does not feel like that. Like
It's like she just wanted to try and help her son
Right.
fit into the society.
His disorder or whatever, obviously something is wrong. Let me kill his mom. But like whatever it was just like, dog equals normal. Maybe I'll try that because I want to. It just because he doesn't. I don't know. It like if you could take Data and when you plug like in the movie when Data got his emotion chip and everything was fried out except like entitlement. That's what this guy is.
And then she was my dog until about 2010 when I moved out. So I
Okay.
never took Athena. She came to Berkeley with me for maybe like a week, but she's never lived with me long term.
Once you went to school.
Yeah, and then my mom
And how
took care
could you?
of
You're being
her
a dork.
since 2010. For the most part, my mom walked the dog without a leash because she listened.
The dog will listen to her. And you too, I would assume.
Yeah, of course. She
That's building.
Yeah.
Because typically walked it without a leash because she listened. She would listen to the owners of the dog. Probably wouldn't listen to a strange murderer.
Right.
she kind of listens to people that she's
That she knows.
met like at least a couple of times.
Okay. To give you a little more
At least
information,
a couple
your
times.
mom, I
There
believe
we
she
go. October
was
24th.
attacked and killed on the 24th of October.
What day is that?
That was
Wednesday.
Thursday. So let me look at the calendar.
Because I don't know the
Yeah,
dates.
sure,
Sorry.
sure.
What would
Does it matter?
Like, was that a Tuesday? Like, it. Like
Like, what day of the week is that? So I could backpedal and say where I was that day.
right. That's the thing. Like, you're going to, if you are guilty, you're going to have to ask as many questions as you're getting asked because you need to. That's the problem. Like in this metaphor, the detective is holding a loaded revolver, 6 shots. He's got all the evidence, got all the camera footage, yada, yada, yada. And Levente is sitting here with an empty revolver, but he's got some slugs and some brass. He's not no gunpowder. What he's trying to do is slip into this detective's revolver to steal some of that powder to load some of his shots so he can fire back.
I don't think
He's
it's gonna
trying
work.
to preload to be like, what day was that? Okay, now I can. But the detective already did that. He's like, so the dog will only interact with you like if she's comfortable with you and after only a couple times meeting. So like if someone were to break into the house for the first time, she probably wouldn't go with them, especially after possibly witnessing the murder of the other one of its owners.
Yeah.
and that's the thing. That bullet already blasted. It's just Levente doesn't feel the pain yet.
So, yeah, so it was Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay. So you talked to her on Monday, right?
Yes.
And then you went to Indianapolis on Tuesday. It was the 23rd.
Correct.
Okay, so then Wednesday is when I believe she was.
That was the bullshit story he gave to his girlfriend. Because, like...
Oh, because they live together, right?
Yeah. So he had to tell her something. Like, he
well.
couldn't just be like, smell you in 4 days,
Yeah.
bitch. Because, like, where are you going? He says he's going to Indianapolis instead of to California to murder his mom. And why would you say that?
She was killed.
Okay, and she texted me.
And she texted you on
She said, Levente,
on
stop
Thursday,
murdering me. Look.
25th.
Yes.
At 9 p.m. Okay. And then you've been in Bloomington since then?
Yeah, or just like a nearby area. So one Monday, the day I spoke to her,
Uh-huh.
I've been in like 100-mile range.
Of your house?
Yeah, of Bloomington.
Okay.
And there's no, like, electronics that you own that can disprove that? Like, multiple types of electronics?
You didn't check in at McDonald's to get some coffee?
Like, no, there's no way they would, like, have a picture of you somewhere else in the U.S., like, going through a toll booth or, like, a license plate reader?
Okay, well, that's kind of what I need a little bit of help with, is because...
It's a lot.
Yeah, and you've had your phone with you that whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. I was able to get records for all your recent people that have called your...
Okay, so that's the problem. The problem number 2, like, you can tell your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, whoever, like, oh, I got a business meeting, I got to go to Indianapolis, then fly to Vegas and fuck some,
Skag, as you like to call them.
hourly skags. Or, no, I don't want to, like, denigrate those people, but, like, you go to spend $100 and have sex with a lady. Yeah. The thing is, like, your wife, unless, like, you're in one of those toxic relationships, isn't going to be like, let me see your phone, or I'm going to check the records and check your text messages. But, like, you can't tell that to a cop, because you can say, well, I was within 100 miles of my house, and also I went to Indianapolis. And then they say, well, it was your phone with you and on the whole time? Yes, it sure was. Lawyer, I don't answer that question. Lawyer, because, like, you didn't.
Right.
So when they go, well, we pulled you, like, and that's the thing, it shouldn't be a surprise anymore, at least to me. Like, if I get pulled in, I'm not going to go like, oh, do you have it? Because I know they do. It's like when Brett, with that murder of Gail, and they took all their money, I'm sure you're going to tell me what you got, because they do.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, well, here's the thing, dude. When we pulled your phone records, which we obviously were going to do as a consequence anyway, even if you weren't the murderer,
Yeah.
because we have to prove you weren't, it wasn't. And you can't Amy Day it and be like, oh, yeah, like, my phone typically works, but sometimes it doesn't. And the only time that my phone has interruptions in service is when it would totally exonerate me, typically. Like, every time I'm in trouble, the thing that would set me free, whether it's, gold bricking at work or killing my mother, somehow it just disappears off my phone.
Called your mom.
Okay.
And so your number was one of them on the 22nd.
Yeah.
So they came back with those records when I asked from AT&T.
Okay.
And so they showed your phone going to Springfield, Missouri on the 23rd, I believe. 22nd, 23rd. Can you help me explain that?
Not Missouri. I went to Mount.
Here's the thing. He just stated a fact. He didn't ask a question. He didn't say, did you go to Missouri? Did you go to Mount Vernon? He said, AT&T, and it's their job to keep these records because, like, that's how they are, said you're here. And you go, no. That's your defense? Like, nuh-uh? Like,
No, I went to Mount Vernon.
this isn't like, there's an Oreo missing out of my lunchbox and we're in 3rd grade. Did you take it? And there's cookie shit all over your face. You go, nuh-uh. Like, we're beyond that, my dude. But, like, to be like, no, I wasn't. Like, obviously that multi-billion-dollar conglomeration
They're lying.
is wrong.
Vernon in
That sounds like Missouri.
But that was, I'm sorry, in Illinois.
I thought that was Illinois.
Yeah, but that's as far as I went. I didn't go to Missouri that day.
Huh.
Or that week.
Really?
Missouri was the earliest time I was in Missouri was in June
Okay.
of this year.
Okay.
So the phone, though.
And that's the only phone you have?
That's the only phone I had. I had this since January of last year.
Huh.
You didn't buy a burner phone?
No,
It's just strange. I mean,
No, I-
so basically, when our phones travel, they talk to cell phone towers.
I love it. It feels like it's the opposite. These types of interactions are the opposite of like young people trying to explain the internet to old people, because in an interrogation setting, you have to flip that on its head. So the young person has to be like, "No, I what? Like, I don't understand." So the detective has to break down, be like, your cell phone works off of cell towers, right? A crazy concept. Have you ever thought about your phone and how it works? Like, it's not magic, Levente. Like, same thing with the Amy Day. Anytime they have to be like, well, your phone, that's how GPS works. Like, Google Maps wouldn't work if you were in Missouri, but Google thought you were in Mount Vernon. So, and like, you can't stare into the face of these people and go like, nah, dude, like, I don't know, man. That's
Didn't happen.
crazy. But
Fun fact, Ryan's visiting Mount Vernon on his vacation next week.
Take a picture. I love looking at a mountain just as much as the next guy. And I've never met a mountain named Vern.
Correct.
Right. So you're a smart guy. You probably know better than me.
You're a smart
Every time
guy.
they connect to a tower,
Yeah.
They ping.
it shows the tower's location.
Yeah.
Your phone has to be
Yeah.
within close proximity of those towers.
Right.
So
Right. I totally understand this. However, I didn't. Know what I mean? Vern?
the fact that your phone shows going, from your house basically to the Springfield,
I
Missouri.
understand. I
On
understand.
the 22nd, 23rd.
But it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was down in Missouri last month. June was the last month I was in Missouri.
Huh.
Late June.
And the other curious thing is, so
It's the worst type of hypocrisy. Like when you're trying to deny something, even though you, like, in the same breath, go, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I understand how it works utterly. I'm familiar with that. That's the first layer of the Oreo. And then like no, it didn't happen like that. Even though I have a vast understanding of the knowledge or of the topic at hand, no. And they go, but you know how they work, right? And you go, well, yeah, of course. So you got this Oreo cookie where the cream has been replaced by like rat shit. Because like, how do you meld those together? Like, I totally understand that every time my phone, and this happens multiple times a minute, tells me exactly where I am. And not only tells me, but like, my mighty tech overlords that I pay service bills to. But in this one case, no.
so on the 25th, your phone is showing up in Texas.
Huh. It's like you're moving across the country.
And it tracks all the way back to your house from Texas.
So like, why, here's the thing, you bought the burner phone. I don't know, like, you ever gone like TPing like when you were younger, or maybe when you're older, maybe you should grow out of it. But like, it's one of those things where like, cell phones aren't like the headlights of a car, right? Like if you and your cousins pile into their Chevy Astro to go toilet papering, you switch the lights off as you roll slowly and quietly through the neighborhood searching for a target. You get out, you fuck the place up with some toilet paper, and then you drive off. And once you get like a block or two away, you can turn on the lights because you're safe. Cell phones aren't like the light, and that's what I feel like that's what kind of happened.
He turned his phone off.
Drove to Missouri, goes like, doy, oy, oy, left my phone on, click, goes to California, commits the murder, comes back, and he's like, well, I'm 2 states away. It's probably safe now. I mean, forget about the fact that, like, you going off the grid of your phone for 4 days or how long it takes to cross the country and commit a murder and then come back. Like, that's a little sketch. But to have, like, a timeline where it's like, you here, you go, whoop, fall off the map, and then you end up here somehow. Next time you're alive, according to the phone network,
It's
and
back
then you
home.
go back home.
Well, and all of that, and like, sure, he lives with his girlfriend, told his girlfriend that he was going to Indianapolis, but did she just not talk to him for 4 days?
Well, that's the thing.
Or did he give her like, just in case I don't have service, here's a burner phone number?
Well, no, I'm sure he didn't. But like, he probably was like, I'm going to, because whatever, he's in his 19th year of college, trying to be whatever. Like, he could probably blow smoke up her ass because I'm sure she gives very few fucks about what he does recreationally.
Right. She's a med student. She's
or
got
whatever.
bigger.
Yeah, she's busy. So if he goes, yeah, I'm going off to some day trader thing for 4 days and I probably won't be able to talk because of blah, 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 she go, okay, fine. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the people who don't think you're going to, and it isn't their job to suspect you of murder, aren't
Right.
going to check up on you.
Yeah.
Like, if I told you, like, oh, my company is sending me to a seminar for 3 days, and it'll be blah, 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 and, like, I made a big enough deal about it. I was like, I'm so annoyed, and yada, like, all the things that I would actually be had I had to do something stupid like that, you'd go, yeah, I'll see you when you get back.
Yeah.
But if I were, like, you know, a Levente style murder, I could like run off to Illinois or Chicago or Louisiana or whatever and stab a bunch of people I don't know and come back and be like, woo, what a conference. They told the lamest joke. And you're not going to be like, let me check your cell phone record.
Who'd you murder?
Right?
Texas. Last time I was in Texas
Oi, oi,
was,
oi.
Boy.
Oh,
it was 2015 because I drove here.
okay.
Yeah.
When I
Wow, so AT&T is really dropping the ball.
They're behind.
Like, they thought you were in Missouri when you were actually in Mount Vernon this year, but they thought you were in Texas, but you weren't since 2015. The AT&T are the real criminals.
when I looked at your phone records, what I did was I looked at the other callers that called your mom, okay, and I found
a burner phone
another
number on
Cincinnati, Ohio number that looks like it was traveling with your phone to your mom's house.
Huh.
Oh,
And
weird.
I don't have another phone either.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
so when I looked at that and I put the two records together,
Oh, I understand.
What? Why
Okay.
say that?
Because he has to bookend his denials because he's one of these people like he's kind of like a Sarah Boone in that he's not willing to put on an air of inferiority even when it benefits him. So to play stupid is not when it comes to like something not incriminating. He has to go, yeah, I understand. I'm a smart guy. Listen, we just talked about how much college I am and how much
I
debt
did
I
all
have
the college.
because of it. He's the type of asshole who cannot say he doesn't know something he doesn't know unless it's going to hurt him. And that's why we're here, because he goes, oh, and, you know, P.S., okay, part of, when I talk about, I mentioned earlier the iPad checking in on Arizona's McDonald's
Yeah.
Wi-Fi or whatever. On his way back, like when her body had not been discovered yet, he was preemptively, like they all do, like Chandler did, like Joel Guy Jr., dead body found in X
Oh my
community.
God, he was Googling
woman
it.
found dead in X community. Athena Valentini found murdered. Like all of these searches
Just to
before
see.
anyone even knew. Hello? Like, leave your fucking shit at home. You bought the burner phone. Don't tape it to your real phone so they are like Siamese twins. And when you go across the country, we'll go, whoa, it's like someone taped another phone to your phone and was calling your mom from it. Taped to your phone. What's happening to Matt?
Hey, Matt.
I have a map from your house to your
Texas.
mom's house
Oh, to my mom's house.
Oh,
Okay.
my mom's
with
house.
those two phones.
But
The map's
she's dead.
directly from your house on the 22nd
That's weird.
to your mom's house on the 24th.
Do you think someone stole my
Was
phone and murdered my
not-
mom with it?
I was not in California
listen to
except
me.
January.
Listen to me for a sec here. So
Sure.
when I looked at that,
Sure. Yes.
I checked. There's other systems that we can check that they have what's called a license plate reader.
Okay.
Okay.
Look, we
And
are the
when
police.
A license plate gets scanned on that as you're driving down the road. It takes a picture of your car. Okay. And the picture it took in Texas,
Oh,
it was
in
you.
Arizona,
Oh,
and
local reference, guys.
California is a picture of your car.
I was not in California this year. Oh, except in January.
Okay. Listen to me, Levente.
I missed.
I've got recent pictures of your car with your license plate affixed to that white Jeep Liberty. Nah. Man, you know, instead of day trading, he should have gone into like it'd be like criminal defense. Hello? Like, Your Honor? Nah. I rest my case.
Like, if
2015.
we were in if I was in his shoes and I was a total douchebag liar, that would be a time where I'd be like, like this, to try and make a lie that my car was stolen or something.
Well, he couldn't, because like he never made a report.
Right. That's the only thing that would.
But that's the thing. The problem with Levente is he's same with Letecia, same with whatever. Like even Chandler did this. He pumped them for information. Like when you think you're smart, you think you can do things you can't.
Mm-hmm.
So he thinks that he can come in, like pump Casey for information, give him a whole bunch of bullshit, and they'll go, okay, great. This, like your
You can
bullshit
go.
story
Yeah.
passes muster. We're not going to look into it beyond your say-so because like your girlfriend, we're fucking you too, and just totally respect and trust you, Levente. They don't do that.
Thank you for coming to America.
Okay. All those records clearly show it was your Jeep.
No.
Okay? There's video surveillance cameras on your mom's apartment. Did you know that?
I did not.
Well,
Why'd you say,
right.
And P.S., just imagine everywhere you go has a camera, whether it be a business. Like Ring cameras cost $14 if you buy them new, or if you buy the right box of cereal, you'll find one at the bottom. Everybody has a Ring camera. Just know you're always, and like this isn't even the UK where everybody has 19 CCTV cameras on them at any given moment.
Right.
Like these are, people trying to protect their own property, and you're going to be seen from all angles. The sound has never been better on these things. The video has never been better on these things. It's not like in the old days where you could run into a Circle K and they did like, I don't know, 6 frames a minute. So like it would just show you bouncing around the store like the Flash. Like everything is 4K and quadraphonic sound.
The video surveillance cameras show you going into your mom's apartment when she was murdered. Okay? So what I'm here to do today to talk to you is about, I already know that you're the one that went there.
It's over.
Okay? I need you to help me understand why you did this to your mom.
I didn't do anything to my mom.
Levente, it's clear to me. There's clear as day, unfortunately.
A little Maurice Wolin shows up because when he gets all a little reserved, like, I didn't do anything to my mom. I didn't do anything.
I didn't do nothing.
Unfortunately, we went and bought that phone at Best Buy.
Oh,
You're on video there buying that phone, the Cricket wireless phone that you used.
shut up, Cricket
during this
Wireless.
trip. I have you on video there. I have your video on your mom's house.
Hashtag
I
best
have
burner
video
phones.
afterwards with Athena leaving. Okay?
Casey,
You have to accept that.
Casey. There's the first drop of his fucking name. Don't do that. I feel like if Jeff Sokol got a hold of Detective Kelly's first name,
Oh, yeah.
whatever it is, let's say his name was Gary, he'd be like, Gary, come on, Gary. Like,
I feel like Jim Roush would have done the same thing.
well, he knew their names. He just didn't care enough about them to make. But Jim Roush was in a different situation. He did not think he was in trouble. He was 4 vodka tonics deep into his life, and he just thought, well, here's the thing. I got caught, and big deal. So like, just give me my ticket, and I'll be on my way.
Yeah.
He didn't commit a murder, and he didn't actually get to Sad Cheyenne.
True. He sounded like the Napoleon Dynamite.
Mom, gosh.
We're past that part, okay? I know it's tough.
Past that.
This is something that's been hard to talk about, but
And like half the time that works. Like there's one Southern guy, I can't remember his name, but he like shot a couple of people in their apartment and one of them survived and yada yada yada. And the detective is like, we already know. We're past that. And it's like, oh God, what's his name? Oh shit. All these people sort of run together. But anyway, it's a flip of a coin. Half the time when you go, we already know, and like he didn't give all the evidence yet. He's like, we went over the phone, we went over the license plate reader, and the cameras around the apartment. There's more to come, but that's enough to hang.
That's already damning.
So to be like, we're past that is an understatement. Like every nail is in the coffin. Like there's one left, and like the gravedigger could take or leave that one. Like, if you want to hammer in yourself, he'll allow it, but we don't need it. The coffin is ready.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing hard to talk about. It's the fact that I
explain
didn't.
to me why
Casey!
Did something happen there? You know what I've looked into? Listen to me for a minute. You know what I've looked into? It sounds to me like your mom was kind of a taskmaster. And she...
The taskmaster.
I know she was upset.
It's like the page master with Macaulay
Her
Culkin.
choices for school, and that she would kind of push on you a little bit. And I
No, but she didn't even want me to go into
and so-
academia. She wanted me to be a nurse, an RN.
Oh, listen.
Why bring that up? Like, he's like, your mom was kind of a taskmaster. Well, she wanted me to be a nurse.
Is that supposed to be good or bad?
What? Why did you say that, Levente?
I can understand growing up how you had a tough childhood, okay? And I know you guys moved here. You lost your father.
Casey,
she has many different men.
Since I was 18,
Many different men. Your mother was such a whore. Like, he's not saying that obviously because he's just assume. I assume rather he's just referring to like his biological father and his stepfather. I wouldn't call that so many men and like act as if your mom is like an '87 Tercel with bald tires and 370,000 miles on the engine. Like, dude.
Since 2010, I have been independent. I have never relied
8
on
whole
her
years.
financially,
Casey.
emotionally. I mean, we've shared bonds, but that was it. Like
Emotionally, we've shared bonds, but that's it, officer. I've shared bonds with my mother. I've never bonded with her enough to kill her.
Financially, though, we're separate.
But doesn't it feel like he's answering questions that aren't being asked? These are my favorite type of interrogations, where like a clear and concise question is asked, and the answer is just as clear and concise. However, it is 0% related to the question asked. So it feels like if two an American and a Japanese person meet on a beach and they just start talking in their own languages to each other, and you like put subtitles under so each of them can understand. Neither of them know what the other one's talking about, so they're just sort of going on about themselves.
Yeah.
she never controlled when I went to Davis when I switched majors. She wanted me to be a doctor. I wanted to be a historian at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you killed her?
There had to be something to where.
No.
Listen to me. It's clear, Levente. Let me show you a couple things here. Okay.
When you were laughing about how your parents were here earlier.
Okay, here's her trust, right?
Okay.
And this goes in to explain that you are her sole heir, so you do get all her property.
But I didn't even know about this.
I knew that I was the sole heir because, again, my dad's
Nobody
dead.
else
My
is there.
stepdad's dead. I got $200,000 coming in literally 3 years and a month. But I didn't know I was the only beneficiary. I mean, obviously, all of our family is back in Hungary, and they're not going to get any of it. But I mean, of course, I knew, but I didn't know.
You don't know. You weren't there.
You don't know me, and does the fucking Z snap at him?
Wrote one up where she
weren't
talked to attorneys, but I didn't know about this.
Okay.
Okay, so you just killed her without knowing that?
Okay. So we can get past that part because it's more about why. Okay.
Past
It's
that.
not about what.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't
It is
understand
about
what
what.
you're saying.
This is your house right here. Where this is.
Yes.
This is your mom's house.
Is this you?
Okay. You understand?
Here's you. Like he's got a little stick, like a little toothpick with a car with a little Levante sticker's head popping out the window. He's like, here's you. Brrr, stab, stab, stab. Brrr, and now you're back here.
Understand that.
Here we are.
Pictures caught you along the route. That's your Jeep, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Guess where we got this picture, bitch?
California.
Yes. Ay, ay, ay.
This is from ADOT.
So what you're telling me about being in Indiana and never leaving and not seeing your mom in January of this year
I saw her in
is
January.
clearly, well, you were at her
Church
house on the
people
24th of
I
October.
was not in her house. Of October of this year, I was not.
Levente, do you see what I'm showing you? You want to see what
Are you delusional,
This
Levente?
isn't AI. It's not photoshopped. Like it's not like a Cyrax sending his peen and he was hacked situation. Like you, dog.
Your pictures of your Jeep was taken all along your route with you in it. Okay? The video at your
Okay.
mom's house
But
showed
no.
you
But I wasn't there.
driving by at 3:30 that afternoon, okay, in your Jeep.
Murdering her at
Okay.
3:35 in your Jeep.
Understand what all this says is that you were.
That's the thing with real alibis. People go, no, I was blank. I was at X location. If you don't have anything to prove, you say, I wasn't there.
Right. Yeah.
And so the obvious question that response begs is, okay, then where were you?
Right.
Because
Where were you?
The jury, speaking, for the future people, in this case now it's the past, but you want him to go like, because, I don't know why. You have to treat, I know why. You have to treat the jury as like the lowest common denominator. You have to take them by the hand and walk them slowly through everything. So if he could be like, okay, if you weren't there, because we've got all this evidence, if you can prove you weren't there, where were you? Right? Where were you? Say, that wasn't me, I wasn't there. Okay. Where were you?
And why was your car there?
That's it. Like and he's not even like icing this denial cake with the like, I don't remember. Like, there's no like, I don't remember where I was.
He's
Like,
too
I was
smart
so
for that.
busy. I was blah, blah, blah. I was here. I was there. It's just like, nuh-uh. That ain't me, dog. But that's the thing. The detective isn't helping the situation by being like, okay, if this isn't you and you weren't here with your phone, with your car, with that other phone that you registered in Cincinnati, wink, where were you on? And this isn't even like a particularly tight, diagnosis murder or like
yeah, where were you
Murder,
between
She
8 and
Wrote or
11?
whatever, where you go, well, there's 45 minutes unaccounted for.
Yeah.
It's not like a window this big where you can go like whoop and jump through and you go, aha, I have an alibi. Like, this is days.
Yeah.
Like, where were you for 4 days, my
Without
dude?
your car.
Your cell phone made it to California, but you stayed in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You were
Bloomington.
in New York. You were in Chicago. You were in St. Cloud. Where were you? Because your phone made it to Arizona. And then beyond to California, and I don't think like phones are programmed to murder mothers yet. Check the App Store.
Were. So for you to sit here and tell me that makes zero sense, and it doesn't look, good for you. Okay? What I'm trying to understand is, did something happen when you were there that caused a struggle with your mom?
No.
Were you just mad at her? Do you need money?
No. I don't need money.
So what happened? Tell me what happened. That's the only way we're going to understand this a little bit better. Because you seem like a very intelligent, smart, and a nice person. And something had to have happened that day.
No.
We all make mistakes.
No! I understand everybody makes mistakes, but no,
Casey!
First of all, as you pointed out, I had a rough childhood.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've always had my mom. She was the number one person, with the exception of the dog, that I could go to.
Mm-hmm.
See, she was number one, but sometimes I would put the dog above her. Why would, like... the only one I could go to was my mom and my dog. And the dog was, pretty much a dry hole. Because you go, hey,
dog.
I'm thinking about killing my mom. What do you think about that? And they go...
Woof.
There's no reason for me to hurt her. I never hurt her.
So why did you do it?
If anything, I went out of my way to help her all the time.
We tried bonding over certain things. Like I mentioned before, we shared bonds.
Not money, but bonds.
There's no...
We shared war
Can you
bonds.
explain this?
Yeah.
I cannot. I absolutely cannot. But
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Cannot.
It's the truth.
Ugh.
$30,000 check. Don't bring the girls.
I did not do anything to her. I really didn't.
But
I promise.
I pinky swear, dude.
There was
Casey.
video surveillance all over that complex.
Okay, there was.
I watch you go in and out of the house. I watch you. Your mom actually had a video surveillance in her house because she was worried about the transients.
Okay.
Okay.
the
I watched you
transients.
do it. Okay.
What do you mean you watched me do it?
I watched you wipe the blood off
What
your
do you
hands.
mean? What have we been talking about? You watched me have sex? do what? That's the thing. When you're not arrogance. Maybe it is a little arrogance, but it's like There's a conceptual, whatever, there's a word for this. It's kind of like the Peter principle, but it's like the Venn diagram of experience versus confidence. So when you start in any given field or hobby or whatever, you start at like a straight up 0 in the corner of that graph. And as your knowledge of the hobby or whatever grows, your confidence grows disproportionately to your knowledge. So you're ready to start telling people how to do whatever you're doing. Confidence level here, knowledge level here. And that's what this feels like. It's like he probably Googled a bunch of stuff. He probably watched about it. It'll come up later. He watched a bunch of crime shows, watched a bunch of lawyer shows. And so your knowledge of like the law and criminal justice, goes up in your mind, but you're probably just watching SVU like I am. But your confidence in that you think you're smarter than the average criminal is way high. So that's where we're at. His confidence in his abilities is not matching his actual ability. And when those things collide, when you ask someone whose confidence is high but knowledge is low a question, they go, I don't know, but it doesn't shake them. Like their lack
Sarah
of
Boone.
knowledge does not, his lack of being able to provide explanations of reality, our shared reality, doesn't bother him. And it's only because the undeserved confidence of his limited and faulty and lackluster knowledge. But this is why we're here. If everybody who got arrested knew that they should lawyer up immediately, we wouldn't have a true crime genre.
Right.
I didn't do anything. Casey,
Help me explain why.
Casey.
why?
Help me.
What?
Why what?
What happened that day? What happened in your life around that time where you decided
Nothing.
I have to do this?
Nothing.
Was it a spur of the moment? So your mom, you called
Spur of the moment 2-day road trip? You just like got a wild hair up your ass, decided, yeah, it's time for mom to die. And as you traveled through state after state, it just never lost its luster, that
Right.
idea of killing your mom?
You called her that day several times, and she actually told her friends about it and left voicemails about talking to you.
Yeah.
That's the problem about victims, right? Because if you call ahead and like you lay the groundwork, especially from your burner phone, because you got to go like, "Hey, mom," it'll come up later. "Hey, mom, something's wrong with my phone. Here's a new one." People talk,
Right.
so no matter how mundane the information, it's going to come over the airwaves of a coffee clutch or whatever, like your little old lady neighbor. You're going to go, "Oh, it's funny. My son got a new phone number and he called me. And I didn't know who it was until he told me, oh, it's my new number, mom." And I go, "Oh, isn't that crazy, Esmeralda, my 90-year-old neighbor?"
On the 24th.
Yeah, I spoke to her.
You told me earlier that you didn't. You said on the
Look at my
27th.
phone.
No, but you called her from the phone that you bought at Best Buy.
I didn't. I only have one phone. I only have
Casey!
one phone.
Well, you had 2 a month
Did you
ago.
not buy a phone at Best Buy?
No, it's true. $30,000 check.
My shoe fell
I
off.
did not.
Do you want me to show you
It
the
did
video
not.
of it?
I didn't.
Do you want me to show you the video of it?
Sure.
Sure. Okay.
We can Sarah Boone this shit.
Yeah, there we go.
I got all day, motherfucker. After 8 hours, I'm on golden time. So if you want to watch the 14 minutes of you walking around Best Buy, I will gladly do that for $32 an hour, you stupid son of a bitch.
There we
All right,
go.
so here's the evidence of you.
I don't believe I have this.
Casey,
Casey, I don't want to watch this, please. I don't remember shooting this video. I don't remember buying that phone. Like, it would be like if he was shaking a Best Buy rep going, "Fuck you!" This is how I feel like when you buy other burner phones.
I'm just.
look, I understand you're looking for motive,
No,
but
no.
there is absolutely no reason for me to hurt my mom. Okay,
So why'd you do it? That's even worse.
this February, this December, I was talking to her about meeting Hannah's parents.
Okay.
I asked my mom for her engagement ring so I can use it as a promise ring for Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't use her engagement ring as an engagement ring?
Right.
Here's the thing. Promise rings are for fucking idiots.
They're for high schoolers.
They're not even for. I went through junior high and high school, and every time someone was like, "Oh," like one of my friends who was a girl would be like, "Oh, look, I got a promise ring from so and so." I go, "That's fucking stupid. What's the promise to do? To like finger bang you 8 times and then eventually just be like, someone hotter showed up at junior high?"
Well, that's the thing. When you're in junior high or high school,
Right, but
you
the
don't know any
promise
better.
is to like finger blast you up to a dozen times before that punch card gets full. Like but moral of the story is he's not at junior high. He's a super duper senior at his 3rd college, going like, "Here's a promise ring, Hannah. It's my mom's, like, you know, generations old, probably, because that's the type of person I would believe she would be." Like,
Yeah, engagement ring from her widowed
the
husband.
engagement ring from his dead father to his now dead mother to be like, "Here's a promise ring. I promise to eventually thinking about getting engaged." Like, he's a wormy little scumfuck. Like, there's a story by in The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers about this, like, he drives a hearse, like this weird guy, and he's just like a giant corpse worm.
Yeah.
And that's what he feels like. Not like he looks like a greasy, disgusting little Phil Spector sexual deviant, but like his vibe is just like a gross graveyard coffin worm where like he got $15,000 a year as a teenager for 3 years. Then he got 200,000.
90,000.
90,000, and he stands to get another 200,000 in 3.5 years.
Right.
And he's like, "Hey, Mom, can I have your cherished keepsake from your dead husband that I can give to this bitch as a promise ring that means essentially nothing? Like, you want to get her some dog tags to be like Levante's bitch while you're at it, you stupid fuck?"
There was nothing.
Did you find the ring there?
I don't have a ring. I absolutely do not have a ring.
Absolutely.
I'm not
And
gonna
what was
hurt
it?
my mom for a little gold
I
ring.
know there was more to
Okay.
it. Okay.
Okay, like
You
what?
have to, why did this happen? Why did you hurt your mom?
I did.
Did you understand that that's how it works?
I understand.
It's free murder.
Did you understand that?
But also free real estate, 'cause he would've gotten her properties.
25
You know, still pay taxes. They ain't gonna be free.
miles away, and every time
He
you
hasn't
move from
paid
one
taxes
zone
up
to
until
another zone
now.
to another zone, it kind of
Allegedly.
falls.
That's the thing. Don't take the words I say as reality.
He
'cause-
said it, basically. He basically said, like, was talking about his whole investor thing, and he was like, I'd have
no,
to
that's-
pay
that's-
some kind
he
of
would have
taxes
to pay
for that.
taxes on investing. That's completely separated from the inheritance because of his dead stepfather.
was the cell tower or nearby cell tower. I understand that,
Okay.
but
So I understand that, like, the cell towers work. I understand you have pictures of me. I understand literally every facet of human society, but still, Casey, no, Casey, bad Casey. And he hits him on the nose with a newspaper.
but
He
like,
rolls
for
up the
example,
trust, hits him.
I don't know why it said Texas. I haven't been.
Are you sure you're looking at the records from 2018? You didn't accidentally pull the records from 2015, Your Honor? Case dismissed.
I haven't been to Texas since I first moved out here, which was 2015, because I drove through it. That's it.
You
Anyway,
didn't buy
back
a
to
phone at
reality.
Best Buy.
I'm saying I didn't hurt my mom.
You're saying you
I didn't buy a phone.
I'm saying, here's the thing. I was going to answer the question I hoped you asked, but now I'll lie and answer the question that you did ask with a lie.
Cell phone
at Best Buy.
at Best Buy.
You did
I
not.
didn't go to California.
You didn't ask a 16-year-old in a blue shirt where her burner phones were? Because she has a very distinct memory of a sweaty guy giving off the vibes of a graveyard maggot who asked for a burner phone, and his name was Levante. Coincidence?
This year, except in January, to see, and I flew there. I didn't even drive.
Do you realize these text messages you show me from your mom were after she was dead? They were sent after she was dead.
What do you mean? Do you realize the question was so simple? Do you realize that some of the texts you received from your mom were after she was dead? And P.S., it pinged to your phone and that mystery third phone that was taped to your phone? Does that make sense, Levante? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. What are texts, Casey?
You sent those texts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From my
Yeah. So, bitch, just like Chandler Halderson did. Hey, it's me, your mom. I'm not dead. Cool, I'm Chandler Halderson, and you're my mom, and I'm glad you're alive. Oh, well, case closed.
from my phone.
Right. You sent those texts from your mom's phone to you. Because she was already dead. She couldn't have.
What? No. Look. Hold on.
Look, I got texts.
Hey.
Right. No one's going to dispute the text on your phone. Like, nothing on your phone is going to prove that you didn't kill her and you didn't send those to yourself.
Yeah.
No, look.
I'm sorry. No. I didn't send those text messages.
Okay.
I've got them on a piece of paper, Levante, and AT&T already proved that she was. I mean, AT&T didn't prove she was dead. We proved she was dead, but you texted yourself because who else would have?
I don't know. Look, I finished the test. First of all, why don't you? Is there a way to see? You're accusing me of hurting my own mom.
Not hurting, you murdered her.
Yeah.
Murderers will always downplay the crime. If someone were truly innocent, they say, I did not. Now, this is a lie because everybody's going to act different. But what you would expect him to say is, I did not murder my mom because she wasn't hurt. You didn't push her down a flight of 3 stairs. She twisted an ankle, and now you got to live through her guilt trip as you act as her nurse for the next 6 months, and she rings a bell and it turns into a sitcom. Like, she's fucking dead. You didn't shoot her in the neck with a pellet gun. And she's like, this is going to be an awkward Thanksgiving. She's dead.
Well, do you understand why?
Because of a map, of a phone and another phone traveling.
Videos
And
of
your
you
fucking
there.
car.
Not just the huge 6'7", 340-pound black guy who robbed the stores that he used to work at had this too. They go, we've got A through E types of evidence. Camera, cell phone, fingerprints, DNA, yada, yada, yada. 12 different categories of evidence. They got a submarine sandwich from Subway, 11.5 inches of evidence. And they'll point to so just because there's an olive on the top of this sandwich of evidence, you think I killed my mom? And they go, the detectives always, bar none, go, no, it's not just
All of the things.
because of the Google Maps. It's not just because of the pictures of you driving across country. It's not just of the cell phone records. It's not just because of the video. It's not just because of the DNA. It's not just because of, it's all of those things.
Yeah.
So it's like looking at a piñata and being like, just because there's Snickers in there, you want me to beat the shit out of this thing? It's more than Snickers, my dude. It's a cornucopia.
At her house, walking into the house, walking out with the dog.
Casey!
Okay, I know this. Where's Athena?
See you tomorrow, Ryan.
Where is she?
I don't know because I
Did you
haven't
leave her
Where?
there? Is she still alive?
The dog.
don't have the dog. I don't know if she's alive.
Again, it's contentious because we all know that the mom is dead, so there's no reason to be like, oh, I don't know what happened. But people get up in arms if you kill animals.
Yeah.
So where is that dog? Was it chipped?
Right.
They found every other piece of information regarding this case, I feel, because they were able to track him literally all over the place. But no one knows where the dog is.
Well, if the dog was at a pound, then it was they probably chipped the dog. Well, I don't know if in 2018 if they did that, but
it wouldn't have been 2018 because he left the dog with his mom in 2010, which means they probably picked it up way before that.
they probably didn't chip that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's. It's weird how some people will stick on certain aspects. Like, oh my God, it's a horrible crime and a murder, but where's that dog?
I haven't seen the dog or my mom since January.
October.
I didn't.
Okay.
Look,
2 weeks ago.
I've been open with you with everything.
Yeah, I
Debatable.
appreciate that. But unfortunately, you know, I have things that show different. So
Lots of things.
Because I like you, I want to spend this time with you, but I'd like to understand
Best friends now.
on why.
Do you want
Because I
some
like
Subway?
you, and I like money, and I like sitting in here
Yeah.
making a lot of money while I talk to you. So yeah, run me around in circles because I can stay here. It's like going up on the stand for yourself. Except this does not have direct examination. Like idiots will get on the stand to be like, I can prove beyond a reasonable doubt to the jury I'm innocent, because they don't think about how savage the prosecuting attorney is going to be, and they don't realize there is no half-life of you being on the stand.
Right, you can't just ask to be done.
Right. Like with Shada Vander Ark,
Oh yeah, the fake vomit.
just a bunch of softballs from her defense attorney, and you get to role play that back and forth and polish that interaction to come across as nonchalant as possible. But what you can never plan for is the unlimited amount of time the prosecution can keep you on the stand asking you the shit that your defense attorney would have avoided like the plague.
Right.
So
I feel like
but that's part of it. Like, you don't get a direct. This is all cross-examination. So
Yeah.
you never get to have the even cushion of like, you didn't kill your mom, did you? And you get to go like, no, I would never, because your defense attorney's not going to be like, but really?
right.
Why? It's clear, Levente, that
Look.
something happened that day with you and your mom.
Clear.
Look, okay, let's say
God.
that it's not financial. I don't need money. I didn't even know that she left
She
this
knew.
to me because she said she was going to leave it for Judith, for Yudi. It's not the dog. I don't want the dog.
Okay.
I killed the dog, just like I killed my mom. What?
What is
What
there?
is it?
There isn't anything. I'm trying to lay it down for you so you could see that there is literally nothing. I had a good relationship with my mom. Look at the text messages.
We
If
shared
you could
bonds.
contact AT&T, why don't you read like the conversations I've had with her? Why don't you?
I
okay,
have.
That's the problem, though. Like, past behavior doesn't mean you didn't kill anybody. Like, as much as I'm of two minds about this, because like a character witness is semi-irrelevant, because you're going to like the defense is going to choose people as character witnesses that you have been able to keep up your facade in
Right,
front of.
right.
Like, and not to say that's a bad thing necessarily. Like, everybody has a false front that you give to coworkers or to friends that you don't share everything with. There's very few people, I'm sure, in your life who know everything about you. So you're like, a character witness is going to go, I would never think they would do that. But like, I'm sure Rodney Alcala or like Bundy or Dahmer could have pulled people out of the woodwork of their life who would go like, I've known Jeffrey Dahmer for 14 years and I could never see him frying a man's penis and eating it. Like, it's just out of his character. But that doesn't matter if like there's evidence and testimony and all this other stuff. Like, if I were accused of a crime I wasn't guilty of, I would like I would enjoy the luxury of having my own character witnesses to be like, I don't think you would kill anybody, but I also realize that don't mean shit. Like,
Right.
It's not 1880 anymore. We can just call in 90 women who are like, oh, he's the nicest man in the world. Like, I guess yeah. Before DNA and fingerprints and shit. Like, you're asking someone to come in and like fly in the face of logic and reason, but they're too dumb to realize, or maybe not dumb, like they're too invested in you as a person to realize or like fully comprehend the situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's happening, Maxwell.
Hi, Maxwell.
Why don't you see the long phone calls I've had with her? Why don't you talk to Joseph or Terry or anybody about my relationship with my mom?
Okay.
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 You understand that
Anyway.
your mom herself, in her own words, had said you called her, right when you called her from the phone you had at Best Buy. She told her friend on the 24th, that afternoon.
I don't know, maybe you understand, but my father passed away last fall.
Mm-hmm.
I had my mom And
I had my mom, and we shared bonding moments.
Yep.
She's my mom. I bonded with her occasionally. How do you not? I said my friends had a dog or a cat, then she bought a dog. Like, that's as deep as our bond went, Your Honor.
We named the dog the same name as my mom.
She did for me. For you to even say such a thing,
Ask
it's
anyone.
kind of ridiculous. I didn't know about this, and even if I did, it doesn't make a difference because you're welcome to look at my financial records.
Yeah, P.S. we did.
Yeah, already done.
And even though you like to downplay it, the police aren't gonna like take your word on shit again. Like, God knows the financial situation you or anyone else you know is in, but they go, yeah, I'm doing okay. Like, that could be a lie. And again, your friends aren't gonna dig into your record.
Right.
Like, there's no forensic accountant that like your friends are gonna hire to be like, aha, you are in financial trouble.
Okay, well, what's your financial situation right now?
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's more than fine.
It's true.
May I ask though? Have you been only focusing on me? Have you looked at other leads? Yeah. Have you?
Listen,
Yeah.
I didn't do anything, but I did something stupid. Bring me a $30,000 check.
Your net
Everyone I spoke
worth.
to,
Yeah.
Terry and Joseph. It sounds
Gross worth.
they've been telling me the same thing. That it sounds like
I mean, look at
you
his
guys
hair.
don't know what is happening.
Really?
And
Really.
if you're really wasting your time with me,
No, I wouldn't do that.
P.S. Yeah, the police don't fuck around unless there's like wild corruption or a vendetta. But like, you don't know them and they don't know you.
You don't know me.
It's not like the police. And maybe this did happen before the advent of like DNA and fingerprints and all the stuff that we have like scientific standards for today. Like, I'm sure in the past, before we had verifiable scientific evidence, you could just walk up and be like, we think it's you and fuck you and all this other stuff. Because like coerced, what are they? Confessions happen all the time.
Right.
Because they keep you in there for 17 hours and eventually you get loopy.
Right. That one guy. Oh my God. I don't remember who he was, but they had him in this weird room and they basically like just beat him and not beat him literally, but like were on him and he finally just told them what they wanted.
Yeah,
and he didn't actually do it.
There's a million examples of that. Like there's a guy who
the guy
like,
with the boat.
the boat.
Yeah, their boat sunk, and they kept thinking that he murdered the other guy on the boat with him, and they kept going and going and going and going.
Yeah. Like, but that's the thing. Like, oh fuck! Now I lost what I was thinking about.
Sorry.
A boat.
no, not wasting my time, but wasting your time with me.
No, I wouldn't do that either.
Oh, that's just the thing. Like my overall point is like the police are going to follow the evidence, and the evidence is going to point somewhere. So when the evidence all points at you, you can't go like, well, why aren't you looking at anybody else? Because nothing is pointing to anybody else. Like if you play a game of Twister, right, and you spin that wheel, that little arrow, and it goes zzz, and it lands on left foot green. You can't go, well, like, why isn't anybody putting their right hand on red? Because the left foot green, motherfucker, like, you know, Descartes, cognito ergo sum or whatever. Like, you have to like look at what you have, and it will lead you in the direction. Like, it's how science and like all investigations work. You look at the situation, you look at the evidence, and it will point toward a source. You can't correlate and codify all the evidence that all points to one guy, and that guy goes like, well, why aren't you looking at anybody else? Because literally nothing else is pointing at anywhere else. We spun the wheel, it's pointing at left foot green, and you're telling us it's right hand red.
Right. And I totally agree. Like, he is 100%, like, he did it. But there are many people outside of him who have been falsely accused for things.
Right, but those are situations where they are grasping at straws. They never go like, hey, we've got video,
Right.
audio,
It's all like circumstantial.
pictures, phone, eyewitness, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
So that's why we're here. Like, they're not grasping at straws. They're not saying, well, yeah, you killed her. And he's like, this detective has not fed him any information.
Right.
Like, he hasn't said, what did you stab her with? Right? Because the implication is like, yeah, she was killed by a knife. He's not saying, if you don't want to lead someone, if you're ethical or whatever about this, you say, why did you do it or how did you do it? You didn't, you wouldn't say, how many times did you stab them? Because you don't want to tip your hand.
Right.
If they, like most of these fake confessions, they go, well, like, I picked up a 2x4 and I hit him. Because you go, well, this happens in some interrogation. There's some it's audio tape because it's so old. But like, I remember hearing something like somebody was hit with like a bat or something. And like the person who was falsely confessing due to stress or sleep deprivation, they go, I picked up a 2x4. And they go, no, you didn't do that. You didn't do that. You did something else. What did you really do? And if they go, you didn't do that, like that's a red flag. But we're not in that situation.
Right. No, we're not. I'm just saying, yes.
Can you explain to me
It was
then
Matt and Ryan.
the pictures of our Jeeps that
It
are
was Matt, at least. He drove
in
all the way from
Arizona,
Australia
in
to
Texas?
California.
Yeah.
Because it's very clear your Jeep has this Jeep sticker here.
Yes, it does.
And
Yes,
what's
it
this
does.
sticker?
That is my Jeep,
Rented in
100%.
an apartment.
But I didn't do it.
Okay. That's your license plate.
It's
right?
clear. It's not.
It's clear.
I
Okay.
can see it.
Can you explain that too?
No.
No. Not like, no, I don't remember. But like, no, I'm not going to explain it to you. Fuck you, answer.
No, I cannot.
Why?
I cannot. Because I have no answer.
Okay.
That's going to be a problem because when the prosecutor says, is this your Jeep? And you say yes. And they says, is this the sticker on your Jeep? And you go, yes. And they go, well, it drove up to your mom's house and your mom died and then it drove away. Can you explain that? And you're going to go, no. And 12 members of the jury who are ostensibly your peers are going to go, why not? And I realize they're not in this room right now, but think about it, my dude.
And
That's your Jeep?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure,
It's in
that looks
Texas.
great.
Okay.
It's my Jeep.
That's where
Doesn't
your
look
phone
good for
is
me.
hitting a tower.
Okay.
That's where the phone you bought at Best Buy is hitting a tower.
Casey.
Okay. Right there.
Okay.
Where you picture your Jeep.
Yes.
You in it. Okay.
Okay, I understand.
Okay. Help me explain that.
I can't
Okay.
because I don't know, PC.
Okay. So this is on
Fuck you, Levente.
the 23rd when you're driving out to California.
Okay.
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 This is on the 25th when you're driving back
I'm on board.
to
Okay.
Indiana.
Okay.
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 I
Like
understand.
everywhere you went.
Listen, I understand I drove to California, I murdered my mom, and I drove back. I understand that. But
it
I
didn't
didn't hurt
happen.
my mommy.
You got captured on video.
We bonded
Okay.
occasionally, Casey.
You understand that? You got captured everywhere you went.
And you have
There's
a
video
proof.
surveillance of you at the house. I'll probably show you that too. Okay? The Best Buy is really not that important.
Here's the video of George in the suitcase. I'm so confident in this case. I'm willing to show you footage from other active cases because this is a slam dunk, bitch.
Yeah. Here's a
Important.
YouTube
I know you had
video.
that phone and you called
Here's the most funny cat video I could find.
your mom from it because her own records show it, your records show it, and she tells her friend about talking to you right after that phone call from that phone. Okay?
Okay.
You're on video at her house. Okay? Do you understand that? Do you understand that? What you're saying flies in the face of reason.
No, I understand what you're saying. What I don't understand is reason.
Listen, I
What?
understand you've got proof of me driving across the country, murdering my mother, and then driving back across the country. What I don't understand is why.
Why do you have that?
I can't tell you how many times I've heard a prosecutor during their closing arguments go like, hey, guess what? We don't have to prove motive. You don't. Like, you just have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they did it. You don't have to prove why. You don't have to make them say
Well, the why
anything as
doesn't
to
matter.
motive. Like, if they have the motive, you can imply it, but motive means an opportunity. He had the means, he had the opportunity, and beyond that, they have the evidence he fucking did it. So whether or not he goes like, I was angry or I didn't, it doesn't matter.
Right. It was not me. It was the one-armed, one-eyed, one-legged man. He's the one.
Yeah, and, not for nothing, that guy gets around. Given his limitations, props. Plus, he killed Harrison Ford's wife.
Okay.
Proof, I guess.
Okay.
Here's all
Is
the
that not your
proof.
Jeep?
So all the folders of shit that I've been showing you, that's what we in the criminal justice system call proof. It proves via all these different things we've already discussed that you did the things we're accusing you of.
Yeah.
That's what proof is, Levente. It's not whatever you think it is. Built good.
Yes, that's so cute. Built
Cute.
good.
Built good.
Jeep driving in front of your mom's house. That's on the 24th of October.
Meow.
I can't. I mean, I saw the Jeep.
Okay, that's your Jeep,
I didn't
correct?
see me.
I don't know.
What?
There must have been hundreds, if not thousands, of 2017. No, not 2017. What was it, 2017? Whatever the year. There must have been thousands of white Jeep Liberties produced in that year. And sure, I bet at least a dozen got the same license plate and sticker as me,
Right.
officer.
Because why not?
Casey. I mean, come on, Casey. Ah!
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know. I just saw a
Let's watch it
white.
again. Here you go.
I just want to go to the beach.
He's just trying to get
What's
to
that
the
in that
beach.
corner?
Yeah, that's exactly right. He went from Indiana. He's just trying to get to the beach.
sticker.
Right? Okay. That's your sticker, the exact place you have it on your Jeep, correct?
Okay.
What's that sticker?
Okay.
Exact sticker you have on your Jeep, is that correct?
I didn't see the second sticker, but
Okay.
okay.
So this is front of your mom's house.
Okay.
On 1024.
So you think that someone in the exact same car from the exact same year, and let's say the sticker is blurry, but someone with a similar sticker in the exact same spot rolled up into the
Okay.
1527, which means
Casey.
327.
I didn't see my mom. The next thing, I didn't see.
Explain that to me then.
I don't know.
I can't.
There's.
That's your Jeep.
How do you know that's my Jeep though?
your license plates on the. That's the.
How do you know?
Can you show me
Evidence.
proof of me?
Yeah.
I feel like he's
Is
gonna
that
start
what
like
you need in
stamping
order
his
to tell me
feet.
what happened?
Sure, but I didn't
Yes,
do
he's a
it.
brat.
Sure. Is that what you need to like? I've got your car, your phone, and everything you own going back and forth across the country. But what do you want? Like a picture of your dick in Texas? Like, do you want like some trucker snapping a picture of you in a urinal, like with you looking over your shoulder? Like, what would it? But that's the thing. Like, delusional people who but who think they are smart, there's nothing you can show them.
Right.
It's like a lolcow. This is like Cyrax. Like, Cyrax can look at the multiple images of his own penis that he definitely took because they're from his crappy phone. He can look at those dick pics that were sent to an alleged minor and go like, no way, because like, you're delusional.
Yeah.
And when you're just a lolcow and some trolls, there's not a lot you can do other than like getting embarrassed, but your delusional armor or your plot armor, if you're Daniel Larson, will protect you. When like you raise the ire of IRL people like Casey here, it's not like you can go like, because like, I don't know, man. Maybe the internet is to blame, maybe it isn't. But it feels like most people look at TV and the internet and they just sort of become like non-jailhouse lawyers. Like if you get worked through the criminal justice system enough, you'll know what not to do and what to do in certain circumstances. Because like Jeff the heroin addict from JCS, like or that one biker guy who had Bagger Bob killed, you'll know how to pump the interrogators for all the information they have, give them nothing, and walk out. What you don't want to do is be like Levente here and be like, I don't know, answer all their questions, like back yourself into a corner and then be like, you know, I guess AT&T, all the cameras in my mom's neighborhood, the license plate readers, my Wi-Fi, Apple iPad, my phone, the burner phone, which I'm still denying, by the way. All that's bullshit. Casey.
We don't really know how his mom was. I mean, You weren't here at the beginning, I don't think, Maxwell, but like,
Well, we don't. That's the. I have not looked into his mom, but
I mean, they fled from Hungary to come here for questionable reasons.
The backstory is sketchy, but the moral of the story is, I believe, that there isn't, like, there's no like overt history of abuse. Anyone,
Right.
if cornered, will say that their parents were strict in XYZ fashion. And if you are one to make a mountain out of a molehill like yours truly, you will embellish or whatever. It should, like, this isn't a situation where, like, it wasn't Shonda Vander Ark and, like, he wasn't poor Timothy being locked in a closet,
Right.
sleeping under a cavalcade of alarms or whatever, and, like, being denied food. Like, he's just an entitled little asshole
Yep.
who, and that's part of the problem, is, like, maybe anyway, like, I'm sure when they got to America, she probably filled his head full of "you can do anything" sort of Kanye type bullshit, where you feel like you can do no wrong. And so, of course, the natural consequence of him getting into a bunch of shit is to be like, well, I'll just kill my mom.
Yeah.
Anything.
Guy.
Levente,
Yes.
I've been
Casey.
very nice to you.
I know
and I've
you
been
are.
over backwards to help explain all this. You realize there's you and Athena walking away. Okay? Right there. I have you on video going all the way up the street to where you parked.
With that dog.
You realize that?
That's not.
It's like if they made Sarah watch
not me.
not only like what was like a 2-minute clip, but like we've got 48 hours of video footage from across the country, and here it is. And he just sits there and he like hits play and he like and like every hour or so Levente goes, "I can't watch this, turn it off please." And it's just hour after hour of him like, no.
That's not me.
That's
That's
not
not
me.
me. How can that be me?
Levente, because it was you.
Yeah.
Okay?
You showed one person walking by with a dog.
I have lots of video. They're hard to get to on this.
Just because you have the video of someone in a hoodie walking by with a dog is me. No, not just because. Not
All the
just
other
at
things.
all. Like, the police are never going to go, hey, we have one circumstantial piece of evidence. They may start there and they'll ask you a few questions, but they're not going to come at you hard until shit hits the fan. Like, all of Levante's shit has hit the fan, so much so that the fan motor has burned out and it is now buried under a pile of shit. And he's like, but the fan.
But do you not understand? Okay, so listen, if you were me, okay, and I know that your phone.
Really quick, I want to address this because it happens so often. It's always asked, like, hey, if you were in my situation, what would you think? And that question is always posed to either people who are desperate to get out of a murder rap or 1,000% delusional or both. So it's a pointless question. Levente feels like he has no morals or ethical fiber. So to be like, hey, if you were me, how would you feel? Because the question is always going to be answered by, I don't know. Or if they're really brazen and they have brass balls, they'll go like, I'm innocent, let me go. So
We wouldn't even be here if
But
I was
then
in your
again-
shoes.
I want to, because I understand why the question, because anyone in the jury is going to go like, well, that wasn't an answer and that's stupid. So I can't, as much as I want in the moment of this interrogation to get vindication and the truth, a lot of times you want to illustrate the lies to the people who are going to be sitting in the jury who, you know, their intelligence levels vary from municipalities also.
Your phone starts at your house here in Indiana.
And that there's a cricket phone.
And you bought
Some kind of cricket phone.
I looked at you yesterday, watched all the video of you going in and buying this phone.
The dude with glasses and greasy hair who asked for a burner phone looks exactly like you. Like, everybody was like, this dude asked for a burner phone, because, like, who fucking does that?
Yeah,
like walking to the end of, like, the edge of or the corner in, like, a dark neighborhood, and, like, there's a guy in a hoodie, like, he's just there waiting to cross the street, and you go, I would like to buy some drugs, and you hold out like a $10 bill, and the guy's like, I'm out for a jog, dude. What the fuck?
I'd like to buy a drug.
Like, that's going to stick out. I would like to buy one burner phone because I would like to commit a single murder. Can you point me in the direction of the Cricket wireless section, please? Thank you. I'm Levente Lazar.
Steve Jobs.
Okay, on the 22nd, you walk out and you get in your Jeep in the parking lot. You sit in your Jeep for about 20 minutes. You activate the phone.
You put your name on the
voicemail. It all shows clear
voicemail.
as day and matches exactly with the records that I have for that phone and your phone. Your phone and that phone are together in all these towers until you shut it off.
Don't ask for a burner phone. Like, spend the extra time. If you're confused in a Best Buy, don't ask. Find it yourself.
Right.
Buy the phone with cash. Don't ask any questions. And don't say burner phone. You fucking idiot. Like, it'd be like walking into Walmart and being like, okay, so I'm putting together a murder kit. Where are your duffel bags?
Right. Can I get a kill kit? One kill kit, please.
It's like, hey, kill kit, dude, I need some advice. I need zip ties, machetes,
Some masking tape.
gloves,
Bleach.
masking, duct tape. Masking tape. And I was gonna.
I meant duct tape.
Yeah, you need duct tape. Listen, dude. Hey, Walmart, dude. I'm putting together a murder kit. Can you help me out, bro? I'm gonna check out under a 4K camera at the self checkout with my hands
gonna
covered
wave.
in cuts because I just killed my parents. Can you help me out here, dude? Oh yeah, I'll help you out and have no memory of this to pass down to the police later. Aye, sir. Burner phone you want? I'll forget about this.
Shut it off on the way there.
Yes.
In Springfield or around Springfield, Missouri. You made mistakes. You called your own phone to check your voicemail on your way back from this phone you bought at Best Buy. Okay?
Okay.
That phone travels with your phone in your Jeep.
With you, your stupid hair, your ugly face.
There's pictures taking you along the whole way right to your mom's house. There's video surveillance of you in multiple places right at your mom's house. Okay? So tell me...
You have.
You're telling me that you're here, but that's complete contradiction to everything that I know. So help me understand why this happened. I already know that you hurt your mom that day. Was there an argument?
No, because I did not hurt my mom. I did not sue my mom.
Did you buy the phone at Best Buy?
Yes.
The cricket?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Oh shit! He bought that fucking thing, dog.
Snap.
Okay, why did you buy that phone?
To murder my mom.
Like what?
Personal reasons.
Can you explain that to me?
No.
No, because it has nothing to do with this.
Seriously, here's the thing, guys. If you are innocent of anything, be like, guess what? I'm innocent of murder. However, you're going to find spicy text messages, pictures of my genitals, pictures of other people's genitals, a bunch of other stuff. I want you to know that I am a mild to moderate to severe sexual pervert. I've texted people. I did this, that, and the other. However, I didn't commit murder. Get in front of. I understand it's going to be embarrassing. Whatever your reason is, he obviously has no reason.
Right.
But get in front of the thing, because you know they're going to dig through your history like a gravedigger searching for gold rings in the 1860s.
Right.
Okay?
At this point, that he should have known that they already did that.
Right. Just be like, yo, I bought the phone.
I was shitting on my girlfriend.
Build a reason because they're going to find it. And then don't, again, at the 49-minute mark, be like, it was for weed. I bought the phone for personal reasons, even though I kept my actual cell phone on too. I actually wanted 2 ways for you to track me. That doesn't make No, it doesn't.
But it has nothing to do with my mom or.
Well, you
But
called your mom.
what?
I did.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I spoke to her for like an hour.
Yeah.
if not
What did
longer.
you guys talk about?
Her murder?
Many different things.
Cool. It's good.
The promise ring, the
Hey, Mom, I'd like to downgrade the thing that Dad gave you to symbolize his eternal love for you to like a big maybe on getting engaged. Can I get your ring from you? It's cool.
my mom's job, the doctor's visit, talk about Joseph. That was it.
Why did you have to buy that phone for those conversations?
Personal reasons. I also made other calls
Okay, to who on that phone?
to other people that are not at all related to this.
Right, but then get in front of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. If Krista disappears, I would suffer any amount of embarrassment to prove I didn't kill her. Because I would never. I don't want to kill anybody. So if someone in my life dies, I would be like, rather than like go to jail, because I know people, cops especially, are zealous to close cases, I don't want to give them any reason. Like, let's say I'm a furry. Secretly. Whoa, the grossest thing on the fucking planet to be. I would lay it all on the table. Guess what? I fuck people in animal costumes. There! I don't, because, like, gross. But, like, don't pretend like your personal pride or reputation or whatever. Like, at that point, people
It all
are,
goes on the line.
right, because the cops aren't going to be like, they're not going to gather all this information, and if you're innocent, be like, you know, Levente didn't kill his mom, but did you realize he's a sex pervert, or he drives 1,600 miles to buy $100 worth of weed? No
Right.
one's going to give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I hope, and I'm sure that nobody in hearing the sound of my voice, hopefully, will ever be in this situation. But I'm saying to you now, don't get caught up in a Making a Murder style Netflix documentary because you were like, I don't want people to know I jack off to some weird obscure version of porn, or I do this, that, or the other. Because being embarrassed is pretty rough. Like, social stigma is rough and it can be pretty tough to deal with. But what's worse is going to prison for the rest of your life.
Right. Correct. For something that you didn't do.
I would rather have, like, not for nothing, like, you may come into the situation. I would rather have my guts ripped out and eventually be proven guilty and have to stuff all my innards back in, because you can keep rolling on despite the trauma outside of prison.
You mean not guilty? Be proven not guilty.
Right, proven not guilty. But yeah, however you want to, like, I misspeaking be part of it all. Like, do whatever you can, open yourself up, and don't be like, well, no, because you know the truth.
Right. He doesn't want to be called the stoner, says Maxwell.
I'm saying, like, but that's
Of all
his thing. It's
things.
like, we'll get to it, hopefully. I've been talking a lot, but who knows where we'll get to.
Okay.
And
What about Hannah?
I've called Hannah on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've called Joseph on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did Hannah go with you to California?
No.
Did Joseph go with you to your mom's?
No.
Okay.
Did Hannah know you were going to California?
No.
I told her I was going to Indianapolis for some boring bullshit.
Okay. Did anyone else go with you to your mom's?
No, because I didn't go to my mom's.
Okay.
No, because.
Okay.
Where's that phone now?
I threw it away.
Where did you throw it?
Why?
Call the burner phone. You burn it.
But again, like, why? Like, it's not as damning as, like, buying a gun from a pawn shop and they can prove that you bought it, and then, like, after the murder you go, I realized that owning a gun wasn't my thing, so instead of returning it or selling it or pawning it back, I just threw it into a lake, or I threw it into a river, or I took it apart and I scattered the pieces throughout the greater New York area. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's, again, it's crazy.
You threw it away.
My trash.
Where?
Where I live.
Where you live?
Yes.
Okay. What day did you throw that phone away?
Why did you throw it away? P.S.
last week.
And what kind of phone was it?
Flip phone.
Flip phone?
Okay, so the phone you earlier, like maybe 10 minutes ago, where you denied buying, you definitely bought and then you threw it away. The jury's going to love this shit. You're doing, this is a banger job, Levente. You definitely want to go to jail for life.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you buy that?
Cash.
Best Buy.
What'd you pay with?
How did you pay for the phone? At Best Buy? That's not what I asked.
Got it.
You only bought one burner phone. Yes. Let's legitimately go around this circle. How did you purchase the phone? At Best Buy? All right, we'll take a left turn and go around the block. Yes. When you bought the phone at Best Buy, how did you pay for it? The phone I bought at Best Buy, yes? Yes. The phone you bought at Best Buy. What mode of payment did you use during that transaction? Do you think adding that extra 45 seconds of interaction with Casey here is going to help you? Cash.
Cash.
Oh,
You remember how much you spent, roughly?
$50.
$5, 30.
Okay. What's Hannah going to tell me when I talk to her about where you were?
And I was not there.
What's she going to say? What'd you tell Hannah?
A lie?
I was in California.
Oh,
But I didn't go see my mom. I didn't see her. I drove by her place.
What'd you
I
tell
went to Los Angeles. I went to Los Angeles
To buy weed.
and I could prove it to you. I could show it to you.
Okay.
To buy marijuana.
Okay.
And I bought.
not for nothing. Colorado also had cheap legal weed, and that's 2 states closer.
Yep. Yep.
So
I bought medicinal marijuana. I went to
you can't buy medicinal marijuana without a marijuana medical card. It's a lie. And I guarantee he did not get a medical marijuana card in Indiana to drive between 1 and 12 states over to California to be like, hey, I got this card in Indiana. You guys got weed here? Oh, they have it in Colorado too?
Doy.
It's on Venice Street in Los Angeles. That's why I went to California.
Okay.
And I
How do you show that to me?
how
Yeah.
I have the weed in my house.
Okay.
So, on the 24th of last month, you bought weed and brought it back. It's now the 6th of this month, and you haven't smoked it yet, my dude?
Not
Are
all
you
of
even
it.
a stoner? Like, like an alcoholic is driving from Chicago to Louisiana to pick up like 5 bottles of Jack, gets it back to his apartment, puts it in the closet, and he goes, now I can get drunk. Slams the door, doesn't take a drink.
And how much weed did you buy?
About $120 worth.
108, 120, 108,
Somewhere around there.
35, 39, 35.
$120 worth of weed?
Yeah, it's 15 grams.
Okay.
15 grams. I drove 1,600 miles to buy 15 grams of weed, officer. You have to believe me. And I realized I probably should have said this 40 minutes ago, but you know, you got me. You raked me across the coals with all of this evidence that proved I murdered my mom. But my counter argument is I didn't murder my mom. I went to spend $100, literally probably 1/8 of the amount of money I spent on gas
Right.
to buy $100 grams, not ounces, not pounds, but grams, 15 grams of weed.
Like flour? Like how much is that? 14 G's.
Fucking believable. Literally.
That's it.
I don't believe it.
So that's why you came to California?
I know it sounds ridiculous, but I don't know
It
anyone
does.
here except Hannah. Hannah is not going to go ask people. I'm not going to go ask other people either. She's in medical school.
Hey, y'all
Okay.
got weed?
What did you tell Hannah?
That I was going to Chicago.
But you told her earlier you went to Indianapolis. Did you not remember the lie you told 43 minutes
I didn't
ago.
realize he told it. I just remembered you saying it.
No, he came up. He said, he told her he went to Indianapolis,
Oh,
not
okay.
Chicago.
And why did you tell her that?
Because she
Can't
doesn't
get
like it.
announced for
She doesn't
120.
like because she's a
You
medical
can.
student.
That's the thing. But okay, so Maxwell, yeah, that's the thing.
Now.
This is 2018. So well, I'm sure now that it's legal literally everywhere, the prices have dropped substantially. But like $100 for 15 grams in California, I can't deny it. I'm not going to be like Levente and be like, no, because he did actually buy the weed. Okay. Like that was part of his cover story. He did buy the weed. The problem is you want your cover story to come out first.
Right.
Yes, I was in California because I was buying weed. Don't deny you killing your mom for 37 minutes and then be like, it was actually weed. Bitch, we've been here for almost a fucking hour.
School, she's worried about, like, first of all, this is Indiana. They don't have any. If I got caught smoking weed here, she would get in trouble. Because of that, I kind of kept that a secret.
Doesn't Levente really put off the stoner attitude? He's like totally chill, totally relaxed, not a know-it-all or a piece of shit at all. He just like reads as like a totally cool, laid-back stoner.
And Max says he's innocent now?
Yeah, he is. That's the thing. He's innocent.
Free to go.
He went to buy weed. Here's the thing. If I were trying to buy weed in 2018, I would go not to the state closest to me that had cheap legal weed. I would go a couple of states beyond that just to make sure. Because what if someone says, hey, did you go to Colorado? I would say, no, I went to, I don't know where weed was legal in 2018, but like
California.
No, that's even closer.
Oh, yeah,
I
to
would have
us,
to
yeah.
go like two
Right.
states beyond.
None.
Like, yeah, no, I went to Kansas to get cheap legal weed.
I drove to Seattle.
Why the fuck would you do that?
From her.
Okay. So what day did you leave to go to California?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, which was what?
22nd?
What's the date on Tuesday?
23rd.
Okay. And about what time did you leave?
8 a.m.
8 a.m.?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you get
Or,
to
no. I'm sorry, 6 a.m. 6 a.m.
6 a.m.?
Oh,
Yeah.
innocent.
You drove.
Sorry.
Yes.
In
The
what?
end.
My
My
car.
mistake.
Your Jeep?
Yes.
Okay, the same one I have the pictures of?
Yes.
That you
Okay.
denied
How
4
long-
seconds ago.
So you denying all that shit earlier, like, did you just, here's the thing. Because again, he in real time bought the weed because he wanted that to be his backup plan. Pull that out, like, you bought the weed. You knew you bought the weed for a cover story.
Right.
Don't deny it for 40 minutes and then be like, okay, it's time to lay all my cards on the table.
Yeah.
Because if you had said at the beginning, like, I know what you're thinking, and that you probably have all this already, because I know there's an infrastructure of tracking devices across the country, I went and bought 100 grams of weed. That
That's
would, like, because, I don't know, have you ever been in that situation where you got icing on your face from the cupcakes you snuck out of the kitchen, you don't realize it's on your face, and you deny it up and down to your parents for 40 minutes, and then they whip around a mirror and they go, what's that shit in your face? And you go, oh, God damn it. I'm saying, like, if you aren't guilty of the thing you're being accused of, or even possibly, like, again, I'll bring up the Sasha Samsudin case with, like, Ben, right? The last person she texted with his name in the text, he was like, yeah, I texted her. We were texting. I wanted to get back together. Here's all the things about my personal life. Mm-hmm. Because it's real.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. So look, rip my guts open. It'll be uncomfortable, but please do it.
Right.
You don't go, well, nuh-uh, no, la, 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 can't hear you, and then be like, come on, man.
It's
And then
just
you go,
weed.
all right, you got me. But It wasn't for murder. It was for weed.
He's smoking CBD.
How long did it take you, number one, to get to California?
3 days.
Well, Thursday, I think, was when I got there.
2 days.
Thursday, because I
Okay.
went to LA and that's when I bought marijuana.
How many hours driving is that?
You know, we keep saying like it's free real estate, it's free murder. It ain't free murder. He paid for gas, hotels, a burner phone.
Well, yeah, it's never been
Food.
free. But that's just the point of it too. Is like even if you don't, we live in a era where unless you have been doing it for a while, crime, and are familiar with like reality, like I am, or anybody, you maybe won't know because unless you are a true crime fanatic like I am, or a criminal like other people are, it would be in your best interest to be checked into reality and to understand how it works. If you think it's the 1950s and as long as they don't have fingerprints, they can't get you.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
We're not Big Brother yet. It's not like London, where again every 14 square feet of real estate is covered by 19 CCTV cameras. You still have to realize that like there's infrastructure, and even if there were 0 cameras, your phone is always on you, and it's such a ubiquitous device that you're not going to consider. It's a non-entity.
Right.
Unless you're like me and you go, what's your cell phone, stupid? Because you watch true crime. You're going to go, well, whatever. I'll just drive there, kill someone. No one will know, and I'll drive back.
Yeah.
Where there's like a million things on you tagging your geolocation all the time.
30 or 40 hours?
I really don't know.
Did you stop and stay in a hotel anywhere?
No, I just
no.
drove all the way through.
You just drove all the way through?
Yes.
And you got
Oh, that's funny because earlier, and the jury's going to love this. Earlier, you said you've been there since January, but now you're totally 180ing that to say it took you 30 or 40 hours and you drove straight through. So that's weird. It's not like
He didn't sleep.
because a popular tactic of idiots and or like career criminals is to go like, oh yeah, that did happen, but that can only reasonably be pulled from your deck as a card, a playable card, if the window is very small.
Right.
You can't be like, oh yeah, I did drive 2 days there and 2 days back.
Without stopping and sleeping.
It's not like you go, oh yeah, there was 20 minutes where this or that happened.
Right.
This was the lion's share of a week. And you go like, sorry, totally forgot. Should have got in front of this, didn't. I look guilty. I am guilty. I'm Levente Lazar.
You got to California on Thursday. About what time?
And you killed your mom when?
Afternoon. It was about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock when I went to Los Angeles.
Okay. So did you stay anywhere?
No, I drove the entire time.
You just drove straight from your house to LA to your
I
mom's house.
stopped and
then straight back to Indiana.
I stopped and slept
Where did you stop and sleep?
in the driver's seat of the car.
Okay. Well, where did you actually?
Right. I understand. Like you wouldn't get out of the car, sit in the passenger seat and sleep. The implication of the question or the inference you should have received was like, where in the U.S., not where in your car.
Actually stop.
Going to California, first place I stopped was Albuquerque.
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
far.
Can you remember where you stopped?
No, it was like a rest stop.
How?
So it was not in Albuquerque. It was nearby, off the highway rest stop.
Okay.
How long? 3 hours, 4 hours
Nobody asked that.
Okay.
Why did you kill
Was
your
that the
mom?
only time you stopped?
for that trip.
For that entire trip?
Went to California, and then I went to an In-N-Out, and then I slept in the car there after eating, and then I went up to my mom's. I was going to surprise her. She wasn't there, and then I drove back.
Okay. When you say she wasn't there,
She wasn't there.
Yeah, I typically drive 1,600 miles to somebody's house, knock on the door, and go, oh, shit.
Well,
They ain't here. Well,
got my weed.
here we go. Another
Oh.
40 hours of driving ahead of me.
There. I called her on my Cricket phone.
Why?
I drove by. Her car wasn't there. I called her on my phone, or I'm sorry, the other phone. She didn't pick up. I guess she was at work. I had to get back.
When you got back from this,
I had to get back. You see, like I drove there to pick up the weed. I was gonna be like, "Hey, Mom, it's me.
Bye.
I'm stopping by from Indiana. That's not weird. No, oh gosh, no notification, no plan, just out of the blue. I was like, "Hey, Mom," but your car wasn't in the driveway, so I thought, "Nah, fuck it."
from this trip to your mom's,
Okay. Yes.
what date and time did you get back to Bloomington?
Friday.
Friday,
Friday.
which was the 26th.
I think so.
Okay, about what time?
Evening.
Evening.
Yeah. About 4 p.m.
I said
What did you
that's
tell Hannah when you got
whatever.
back?
Hey, I'm
I just
back.
told her Chicago was fine. It's windy.
And then she was like, "Didn't you go to Indianapolis?" And I was like, "Oh fuck, my lies. My house of cards is falling apart." Couldn't even keep one lie to his girlfriend straight.
It was cold. It was fun. That was it.
I love being
As
funny
far
and
as
cold.
she's gonna tell me that that's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you stop along your route going out there, as far as to eat and stuff? Did you stop to eat?
No, because I packed sandwiches and I bought a bottle of, not a bottle, but a 6-pack, no, a 12-pack of water.
When did
Really leaning into the premeditation of this crime, like it's one thing because there's sometimes a fine line because premeditation can live on a razor's edge of like you can get the idea to kill someone in a split second, grab a knife and be like, "I'm gonna kill you because I thought about it just now," and that's premeditation. And that's like where the gray area is, where you can go between first and second degree murder. But if you're like in the car for 30 plus hours and you're bringing sandwiches and bottles of water in the
You have
dozens,
planned this.
it's hard to go like, "No, it was manslaughter, Your Honor. I just threw a bunch of sandwiches and water in my car.
Got a burner phone.
Drove 40 hours, killed the bitch." But I was like, "How did that happen?" And then I had to drive 40 hours back with all those sandwiches and water.
And weed.
when did you buy that stuff
Sunday, Monday.
in preparation for the trip?
Yeah.
What did you buy again?
Premeditation.
Just like lunch meats, water. There's these small energy
Fucking butt egg because I'm cheap as shit because I'm in massive debt. But that's not a motivation. There's no motive. I killed her for no reason. Does that feel better, Levante? Like instead of being like I was gritty and needed the money, be like, "No, I killed her for literally no reason."
Literally.
energy drinks that I got. That was it.
Okay. And what else did you
Couple
take with
monsters.
you in Jeep up to California?
Clothes.
Clothes? What kind of clothes?
A knife
T-shirt, jeans, shorts.
for the beach.
That's it.
Okay. Did you bring a
No underwear, socks. Levante.
computer with you?
No.
No.
I have a tablet,
Tablet?
but it's very old, so I don't use it.
Unless I'm searching like for things related to my mother's murder before
Right.
she was even discovered murdered. I do use it for that, but only that.
That's it.
It's not suspicious.
I just have it.
Okay. That's a long
I
trip.
just have it.
I know. I know.
So you're telling me that
I know what it sounds like.
you're telling me that you drove
For
64
50
hours.
64 hours to buy between $108 and $120.
And
Price of participation may vary. Of weed, it's like what, 8? No, not even 8 joints, like 6 joints.
not even that. Like, God, he only slept for 3 hours. We drove 12 and a half hours to get to Reno, and I was dead after driving 10 of those hours.
And like, how dedicated yet a lightweight stoner do you need to be to drive 64 hours for enough weed to get you high over possibly a long weekend?
The drive back.
Right. Like, you go, "I've got enough weed to get high for 6.5 hours. And I burned 128 hours of my life to get it."
Yeah.
Great alibi, my dude.
Hours
For 15 grams of weed.
for $100 worth of weed.
I know what it sounds like. I know it does.
I think we need to talk
I
about
know what this sounds
happened
like.
in
This sounds
Herbert.
like murder,
I
right?
understand you gave me my rights when I first came here.
That was like an hour ago.
Yeah.
I understand.
That I should have asked for an attorney 55-ish minutes ago in real time.
Before
You
I
could-
walked in.
I think you could understand why I was hesitant in sailing in California. Because
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
crossing
understand.
state lines with weed.
Is that really the thing that you think I'm here for?
Hey, ice truck.
Let's have an ice truck
Gorilla.
villa. But seriously, again, because investigations are going to have to dig up a bunch of collateral damage, let's call it. If someone in your life dies under mysterious circumstances, they're going to look at all the close people. And it's not in any, I would assume, it's not in anybody's best interest, criminal justice wise, to be like, well, this person was killed, and as a consequence, we found one person tangentially related to them likes to toke up. That would be like if your
Murder.
engine explodes, and as you're pulling over with a fiery, like, inferno blasting from under your hood, like you blow a tire and you go, well, now I got to worry about this tire. Like, it's far beyond that. They don't give a fuck. Like, there are some cases in which I will believe, like, it oftentimes feels like a lie because the government makes money off of you being in trouble more often than not. So it's hard to take it to heart when people go like, or not when people, when detectives, like homicide detectives, go like, you think I'm here over a little bit of weed? No, they're not. But even if they go, okay, cool, we are pretty sure you didn't do that. What's to stop them from being like, picking up the phone and be like, hey, Detective Mike, this dude had some weed. Mm-hmm. Like, it depends on if you're a letter or the spirit of the law. But again, I would rather take the hit, like, for if I'm Levente here, I'd rather go like, yeah, I transported 15 grams of weed across 7 states. Instead of being like, no, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing.
Casey.
Come on, man. 100 grams? 100 grams. 15 grams.
No, you're not here for the weed. I understand that.
You understand
But
that I talked to you
Who
about
would be?
your mom being killed and
And you're laughing
asked you
about it?
for your help to explain to me when the last time you saw your mom was. And
But I
you,
didn't
lied.
see my mom.
if this story you just told me is true,
Yeah.
you would have told me that.
No, because
Correct.
no.
Why?
The weed.
Because I am crossing state lines. First of
Right. But again, dude,
Much less of a anything.
I'm not saying, like, 'cause most of this channel and every other channel that points out the downfalls or the plot holes, if you want to call them that, in like a murderer's plan, you go, well, don't give people ideas. The people who are already proficient at this know this already.
Yeah.
They know, but they wouldn't do this type of shit. They wouldn't get caught in the first place. But like, if you're going to build in an excuse, an alibi, or whatever, you bring that up first. Mm-hmm. You don't pump them for information, and then when shit hits the fan, they go, well, we've got video, audio, license plate, yada, 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 phones. At that point is not when you go, like, well, I was buying weed. Like, if I'm, let's say, in an alternate universe, I'm a sex pervert. Everything is normal except for I'm a sex pervert. And I go to a sex party a la Jim Roush, and I go to a swingers club, and they somehow let me in despite being a single person when typically they only allow couples. Mm-hmm. And I come home and Chris is dead. I would go, yo, as much as it would hurt my pride, I would go, I was fucking strangers at a club. Because that is better. Being embarrassed about my sexual perversions is 1,000 times better than going to prison for a murder of someone I loved.
Right.
Like, who has the time to go to a sex club? But like, more, I don't have anything embarrassing to share, but whatever I have that I feel precious to me, I would give up immediately because I would rather them go like, oh, this guy's a little weird than to be like, oh, this guy's a murderer.
Right. Yeah.
But, again, that's another nail in the coffin of like, no shit, Sherlock.
First of all, it makes me a suspect that I was in California and I drove 60 hours for 15 grams of weed.
Didn't even get a gram an hour.
More than that. A little bit more.
Okay. So when I go to that dispensary, or I check any dispensaries in LA, I'm going to find that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I could. If you go to my house.
Yeah, if I'm going to make up a bullshit alibi, I've got to buy the weed.
You best believe I shell that $100.
If you could cover up murder with $100, I wouldn't see why you wouldn't.
Right.
Like, that's cheap as fuck. Like, Delia DiPolito was going to give, like, not triple, but like quadruple or septuple digits to kill Mike DiPolito.
Oh,
like
yeah.
$100 is fucking cheap as fuck.
Yeah.
My house, I could show you the canisters. It has the.
I don't care about the canisters.
Okay.
I literally don't care about the weed either.
Sure. Yeah. The reason I can't say this is because I am crossing state lines, multiple state lines. That's a federal offense.
Right, but like if you had a child, like if you abducted a child and moved them across 3 or 4 states, yeah, we got a big problem.
Sure.
But like 15 grams of weed?
He didn't want to get his girlfriend in trouble because she's in med school.
Levente, you're not like fucking Elliot Ness and the not Elliot Ness. You're not like Al Capone, like moving bootleg hooch during the era of prohibition, my dude. Like at this point, like what? 20 states having free legal weed for recreational use, and you're like, yeah, I drove 64 hours for a fifth.
I will get in a lot of trouble for that. If I told you that, even if it was not related, I would still get in trouble.
Even if the weed was not related to the murder at all,
No
I'd still get
relation.
in trouble. No
To
relation.
my mom.
Trouble for that.
Why?
Because I'm breaking a law.
What law are you breaking?
Crossing state lines with marijuana.
That's a law?
I mean, yes, it is.
Okay. I'm asking. I don't
No,
know.
it is.
I don't work
It
in
is.
those kind of laws.
It is.
I work in
I had a
murder.
friend who got in trouble going from Colorado back to California.
Colorado.
Back
He
to
went from
California.
Colorado to California. So the only crime was bringing weed through Arizona. And even now, recreational use is allowed in Arizona. Now,
Yeah.
but like, you would only get busted if they call you in Arizona. And like,
Right.
I drive around the state all the time and don't get pulled over because it's not hard. I can have a trunk full of weed. As long as you don't drive like a moron, no one's going to pull you over.
Right. Federally, it's still not legal, but it's legal in certain states. Right.
Right.
But
But that's the
don't
thing,
drive
like-
like an asshole.
Right, but here's the thing. Like, drug crimes are one of those things where, like, unless they find it on you, there's not much they can do.
Right.
Like, if he says, yeah, I brought weed from California to Indiana, they can go, well, like, so the fuck what? Unless
Right.
you were caught in a state where the weed was illegal, they're not going to give a single fuck, which is why I would immediately be like, I bought weed because I'm a fucking moron. And instead of going to Colorado, a closer state, I went to California, incidentally where my mom lived and was murdered at the exact time I was buying the weed. Sure, there are a lot of weird coincidences, and I could have done things a lot. No, he's a murderer.
California.
Okay. What did you do with your mom's phone?
I never saw my mom, so I never saw her phone. I never saw my mom that day.
Okay.
What
happened with the dog?
I don't know. I didn't see the dog. I didn't get out of the car that day.
To this day, it's the
Like when I drove
unsolved
by
mystery.
her house, I didn't get out of the
Her
car.
car wasn't
First
there.
of all, I don't have the dog. I didn't hurt the dog. I didn't see the dog. I didn't
That's a
see
lie.
my mom.
Lie.
And I'm wearing the clothes that with the exception of the shirt.
All these
Right
are the
now?
same clothes you went there when you killed her?
Yes.
Jesus.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
Damn.
So he wore the same outfit. It happened. The
2
murder
weeks
happened
ago.
August 24th. So he decided to get dressed in the exact same outfit that he murdered his mom in to the police station. Like, this is akin to Colonel Russell Williams, like, wearing the boots for which the prince would be matched outside of, oh, God damn it, Jessica, whatever, his very last victim's house. And he knows, too, because, Jim Smith goes, like, hey, can we get some prints of your boots? Like, your footwear impressions? All he would have to have done was to be like, I'll slide into my New Balances. I'll slip into my Crocs. I'll grab some flip-flops. Don't wear your fucking murder boots to the interrogation of the murder. Like, get days, hours, months, weeks, whatever. Don't, like, get dressed up in your murder uniform and be like, yeah, I was wearing this exact thing. Why did you do that?
I didn't kill my mom. No. These are the clothes that I wore to California. I didn't see my mom that day.
Why are you wearing them now?
What happened when you went to her
Happy
house
coincidence.
later that day?
I drove to her place down Main Street, and then I circled twice, saw a guy in a pickup truck washing his car. He lives there, I'm assuming. Then I went back to the Main Street, and then you know how at the end of the Main Street it goes to the beach?
Mm-hmm.
In LA?
Sat there for a little bit, called her. She didn't pick up. Called her a couple of times. She said she was running errands. She eventually picked up.
Mm-hmm.
She said she was going to be home later that evening. And then I
don't know if you're keeping count, but he's changed the story yet again. And I haven't been keeping count, but it feels like about the fourth time about specifically talking to his mom or calling his mom or being in the area.
Yeah, I mean, he said he drove by to go to the dispensary. He drove by her house, and then her car wasn't there, and she was at work. He assumed.
In a criminal's mind, it somehow feels like if you tell 37 lies, they'll go like, okay, that was a lie, that was a lie, that was a lie. This is the truth, though.
Right.
Because you've been so trustworthy, you've told 37 lies up until this point. The 38th is probably the limit. And there's no way that 7 minutes in the future will change it again like you have 36 times in the past, because you're trustworthy.
Yeah. Ice Truck says he's saying that if he did murder his mom wearing those clothes, he would have put them in a crappy garbage bag and thrown them in a ditch 20 miles away.
Right. And why don't more, like, the amount of receipts, clothes, shoes, hats, whatever, the amount of evidence that people keep out of either laziness or as a trophy, like, I don't know. I wouldn't do this because I don't want to murder anybody, but it feels like if I were going to, I would do the things that are just common sense.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't keep any of the clothes I wore. Mm-hmm. I would leave my phone at home. I wouldn't bring it with me with the burner phone. Mm-hmm. I'd rent a car or borrow a car or whatever. Like, I would make plausible deniability. I wouldn't half-ass it, buy a burner phone, and not, I don't know, man. It's just like when the oil in your car needs to be changed, you remove the old oil and put in new oil. You don't just like throw 5 quarts in the trunk and go like, there we go. There's more oil in the car.
I drove home. I literally drove home.
Okay.
And
So your phone goes back to her.
There is a literal record, literally, someone wrote down that I drove home. Mm-hmm. Literally.
Back to her, that area by her house. You know, your phone doesn't leave then, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was on the phone. I called her. And I talked to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
And you went back to her house.
No, I didn't. No, I literally left.
So you left, but your phone stayed and called your mom?
Mm.
Is it a robot phone?
After I spoke to her, I drove away.
Smell you later,
Away
Mom.
from
I love
Beach, that
weed.
is.
Oh, yeah, after
No.
killed.
I'm going to drive 64 hours and get baked. Oh, no. I'm actually going to drive 64 hours and wait 2 weeks, never open the package so that the police can come in and see the unopened tin of weed.
Yeah.
Like
That's why he went to California.
every time I drive 64 hours for a maybe not highly, but an illegal substance to get it back, presumably for the goal of consuming said illegal substance, I usually throw it in a cabinet and wait 6-8 months. It's like turning on your headlights after you TP a house.
Gilbert,
No,
do you think Hannah knows?
she knows about my mom. She doesn't know about the marijuana or the California trip.
Okay, what do you think she's going to think about that?
As obvious, people are going to start making assumptions.
Okay, like what?
Like adding 2 + 2 together. California and then what she read on the news.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's easy for a non-detective to come to the conclusion you're guilty without all the evidence, and I've got the evidence, what do you think the jury is going to think, Levente?
So what do you think she's going to think then?
She's not going to think that I did that, but she's going to make assumptions. And I
Okay.
assume when, like, you guys show up there to take the backpack, or to take my clothes, or to look around to see if I have a third dog, which I do not.
A third? Okay, so I don't understand a third dog. The only dogs I know about are
the Labradoodle.
the Labradoodle or whatever it is. I don't know if it is a Labradoodle, but it's like they had in the body cam footage, they have one big dog in their apartment, and then there's Athena, the dog from 2010 and beyond.
Maybe there's just another dog somewhere in the apartment.
That part of these cases is like, I don't spend my time like digging into any of them super deep because like who cares about a second or third dog? Moral of the story is Athena the dog is in the wind, possibly dead, just like Athena the person, also murdered.
And by now, that dog is probably most definitely dead.
And yeah, exactly. Like I struck through a lot. Like the jury will have a million questions, just like you, I, and this detective have. And that's the damning part of it. Questions beg answers, even if they're unsatisfying. If you can give an answer instead of I don't know or just flat out no, that didn't happen, even though the evidence shows it. People, you have to understand human psychology a little bit because nobody likes a dangling thread. No one likes a cliffhanger. No one likes unanswered questions. So even if the question to the answer is a lie, it's easier to swallow than like, nuh-uh. Like, all the evidence says you did this, 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 and this. Can you explain why so many independent, impartial sources are saying it's you?
Nope.
No.
Cool.
It's good. It's a good defense.
Here's what I don't understand.
Okay.
So, okay, I get it. Like, I lied about going to California.
I get it.
I understand that. Obviously, that makes me a suspect. What you didn't ask me is, and you did, but I can't give you an answer because there is literally no answers why I would do such a thing. I have no financial reasons.
P.S. Again, the motive is something that is only important in the interrogation. The interrogation, the confession, is like the icing on a cake that's already been iced.
Mm.
He meaning Casey. Detective Casey's got all he needs to take this case to trial.
Right.
It's just still that gold standard, that wax seal on that embossed envelope that you're going to pop into the mailbox and send him to prison for life is the confession and the why. Because it's part of human nature, I guess. You can say, well, this all happened and we can prove it all happened. But the dangling thread is the why. People want to know motivations of people. And if you don't get that, that's what's compelling.
Yeah.
Like, there are varying degrees of this, too. Like, the Jack the Ripper case, which I'm sure everybody is familiar with. Like, the why is something we'll never get to because we don't even know the who.
Yeah.
But no matter what you go, because oftentimes we know the how. That's pretty evident. We know the when. And we'll get to the who. Those are the three things we typically get to. the why is the one we always want an answer to, because we go, we'll justify it to ourselves being like, I like human nature. I want to know the psychology. It doesn't matter, because every murderer's reasons for murdering is completely different. So I think blowing smoke up our asses collectively about the why in an effort to learn and maybe prevent something, bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't want to say it's morbid curiosity, because it's not necessarily morbid. Humans want to know why things happen because it gives us what we think is closure.
Oh yeah, like look at like Mindhunters and Ed Kemper and like all the whole the psychology of
right. But the thing, you bring up Ed Kemper a lot, and you go, well, I want to know why, and like the reason, blah blah. It doesn't matter the why.
I get that.
Whether Ed Kemper's legitimate reason is his mom was utterly abusive, or he just snapped because he was broken off the factory line. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. What you really want, the why is just maybe because sort of a bunch of different reasons for a bunch of different people. But you go, because we already know the what.
Yeah.
He killed his mom, cut her head off, threw her vocal cords down the garbage disposal, stuck his dong in her mouth, did all these things. Mm-hmm. And you go, well, why? Does that even matter? You've already got all the gruesome details. Like if he said, I stuck my penis in my mother's decapitated head because, do you think that will just get you to go like, oh, doy, oy, oy, I get it now. There's nothing Bunder, oh God, what's the guy? Speck, Bundy, Alcala, Rader, any of these dudes.
Yeah.
Like when Dennis Rader killed the Otero family, if he goes, well, the why is because I'm just a pervert. You go, well, what the fuck? Like the why isn't important, even though it's oftentimes like the part we hammer on the most. I think people ask the why because they want to subdue or mask or sort of hide the fact that they don't necessarily want to know the why. They want to know the what.
Like what caused them to do this?
Yeah.
But that's
why
the why
is immaterial because we have the what. You go, well, Dennis Rader killed an entire family. And we know all the details. We know exactly what happened so we can reconstruct the scene. The wounds and the trauma and everything is there to recreate. You go, well, why? Whether he goes, writes a soliloquy, like a memoir of 10,000 pages, or he just says, I'm a sick pervert. The what is done. The why is not important because the what is what we live in. A family in the BTK case, or dozens of prostitutes in the Green River case, or a bunch of students in the Ed Kemper case, or a bunch of gay dudes in the Dahmer case. The why is immaterial because all those people are dead, and all the whys in the world, all the closure in the world will get you nothing, save for a better understanding of that one case. Because the why for Dahmer, it's not the why for Gacy. It's not the why for Kemper. It's not the why for Bundy. It's not the why for Alcala. It's not the why for Schumacher. It's not the why for anybody. Mm-hmm. So you say, well, why? Because science. No, you're a sycophant. Just admit it to yourself. The why only applies to the one person. Why the weepy voice killer called to be like, I killed another one. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, mechanically, like intellectually, you can go, whoa, there's a little more into the human psychology, but like humans have been around and studying each other for millennia. Like at what point are we going to go, aha, we finally cracked the code because Kemper said his mom was mean to him? Like, when's the aha moment going to happen after 40,000 years of modern human history?
never had a bad relationship with my mom. I mean, like, you have arguments with family members, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that escalates to such a point. There's really no reason. Absolutely no reason. I have no criminal record. I've never done anything bad in my life, with the exception of, like, getting detention in high school or whatever. But I don't have, and parking tickets. But that's it. So it doesn't make sense for me to go from 0 to 60.
I don't know why, like, there are so few crimes that, like, you can tie together, like aggravated assault or like robbery that turns into murder. It's like, I mean, the worst I got is like a moving violation. I don't know why people think that like bringing up their traffic entanglements is any sort of anything.
Well, because somebody who's never been in trouble before, that's the only thing they have. They're like, well, I've got, I guess, this with the law.
But that's low-cal reasoning. It's Cyrax saying, if I were a true PDF file, as like the internet loves to call them now, if I were a true PDF file, wouldn't I be in jail, motherfucker, is the idiot's defense. Because you can be attracted to children and a gross sycophant and a criminal in all aspects of the law. However, if you're not caught or if you don't have the... Just because you haven't spent time in jail or are convicted of a certain crime doesn't mean you didn't do it.
Right.
Like, it's a dumb man's defense.
I agree. And your childhood was not great.
No, it was great. I had a lot of good friends.
It was great.
It was just not great because it's not like the iconic childhood.
Okay.
Dad, mom,
Nickelodeon.
house, picket fence, dog, that sort of thing.
Okay.
You did have a dog,
They
you
did.
did have a mom, you did have a dad. He died. The only thing you did not have was the picket fence. Is that what caused you to murder?
Yep.
P.S. Like, the picket fence is such an old-timey reference. It's like, I don't know, likening to voicemail being like an image of a cassette tape. It's like, I wanted that picket fence where you like, I don't know how many picket fences I've seen in my lifetime. It's under a dozen. So is everybody just living the opposite of the American dream?
Yep.
It was not terrible. No, it was just not great because like she always worried about bills.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What are you going to do with the money that you received from your mom's properties and estate?
And that $200,000 in 3 years, dude.
I don't even know if she has life insurance. I don't know what she has. I don't know because I know you inherit debt as well. I really don't know. That's something I would have to talk to a financial aid about.
And your mom, I mean, it's been 2 weeks, dude. Like, if this were a normal, criminally liable death, like, you would start doing that. You would get the death certificate. You start settling all the accounts. You wouldn't wait 2 weeks and be like, I don't know how this is going to shake out.
Right. I don't know what I'm doing.
Like, you, and any others, I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, not necessarily, because, I mean, people that pass away, it takes weeks to even have a funeral. So, like, that wouldn't even be on my radar. God forbid something happened to my mother.
Right, but that would be a normal person going through normal emotions, but still you would be going through that process of, like, setting up the funeral, getting all the papers together, looking what could be in and out of probate, the trust, the whole nine. So at this point, be like, to go from like, yeah, both my parents are dead now. Oh, and P.S., my stepfather died, and I've been getting money from 2010 onward, and I stand to gain another 20 G's here in 3 years. 200 G's in 3 years.
Seriously.
Like, to be like, yeah, I had no idea. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. What am I going to see on your internet browsing history?
You need to look up the murder of your mother?
Weird questions,
Porn.
weird things that Hannah and I talk about medically, about animals.
You know, she's studying to be a doctor, so we often look up stuff about animal testicles or like bowel obstructions in dogs. Like, yeah, if I were studying to be a doctor, I would definitely look up veterinary related topics.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like she's a medical student. You know, we talk about a lot of weird things, like some of her patients.
And is she constantly Googling things during her conversation?
Constantly breaks
Fucking
HIPAA.
Idiot.
Okay, I know what you're going for. Nothing murder related.
Go through.
So if we pull your iPod search history, you're not going to search for like your specific mother's name or her address, and found dead won't be like anywhere in your search history, dude? Nah, maybe.
You know, your trip back from
Yeah.
California.
Look, let's just. Okay, I understand you have evidence.
I understand you have evidence, but no, Casey, no. Come on.
You have the videos. Let's just let the jury decide. Okay, let's just do that.
Let me tell you
because,
this.
Because here's the thing, Casey. Here's the thing. Let me tell you what's going to happen here. Because I already know what will. You're asking me questions about my PC, about my shoes.
Stop.
May I just 1 minute?
Okay.
You're asking questions about
Incriminate yourself a little further, please.
my PC, about my phone, about my shoes. You're gonna go to my house. That's fine. Whatever.
Right.
I already told you where the marijuana is. You're gonna talk to Hannah, that sort of thing. And you know what? She's in med school. She doesn't have to deal with this shit. So even if you, at the very end, you find out that I did not do this, right? The whole, like, my relationship is done with her. It's already been established at this point because you have to do your job, and I'm not blaming you. Okay, here's the code.
Again, this sort of lends itself to like the marijuana bullshit story. Like, bring all this. If you're innocent, you're going to be worried about the damage earlier than now.
Right.
You're going to go like, well, you're going to talk to, and she's going to, blah, blah, blah. If you're already writing Hannah off as like, she's going to believe you, like, how much confidence do you have in your own story where you go like, yeah, you're going to bring her all this evidence and she's going to make assumptions? Like, it's not an assumption.
Right.
Like that's what Sarah Boone did. You're all assuming. It's not an assumption when it's like provable.
Yeah.
So to be like, yeah, she's going to assume that I'm a murderer, even though she won't believe it, she'll assume it. Like, are those different words in your head?
Yeah.
Give me a pair of pants, I'll give you these, and then whatever happens, happens, okay? But in the end, I already know that I didn't do anything to my mom. And that'll be established eventually.
It wasn't. He was found guilty. He's in jail right now. Prison. He's in prison right now for killing his mom.
Yeah.
Eventually came, and it did not shake out as a not guilty verdict.
If it's not, I don't know what to say. But I didn't do anything, okay? And I don't want to waste my time and your time here. Let's just.
We already
It's like
did.
a higher energy, high pitched version of Nick Scullin. Like, he killed. We talked about him on the show a little bit, but like, he killed his future mother-in-law.
Oh yeah.
And was like, same bullshit, like, no, it wasn't me, but like low energy and just like a lot more sighing. I don't know which one I prefer or which one I hate more. Probably Levente here, because like to be like low energy, like, I didn't do it, to like ratchet it up to 11 and be like, no, Casey.
Did you name Athena?
Yeah, I did.
So
And then my mom changed her name because it doesn't even matter. Let's just do this because you know what?
well, here, I mean, to me, what matters is
I know
killed
what
your mom.
matters. You're trying to get to a motive, but there is no motive here.
okay.
Okay?
Okay, listen to me for a minute.
This whole thing,
This one-
it's not only just that my mom died, but now my whole life is gonna be just fucking raped. Just by the news, by you guys saying that didn't leak that story. Give me a break, okay?
It's the evidence, dude. It's not like righteous indignation should have been happening an hour ago.
Yeah.
Like, if someone comes to you and you're innocent, you go, no. You don't wait for them to like lay out literally all the evidence that proves beyond a reasonable doubt before a trial, like it was definitely you. Then to be like, do you understand what this is going to do to me? All these false accusations. Like, this isn't someone coming out of the woodwork to be like, I saw his dick in an inappropriate situation. There's like, it's a he said, she said type thing. it's like if she said and then she produced, 6 foot of printed evidence of screenshots and videos, and you go, well, like, nuh-uh.
Okay, and now you're gonna go through my stuff and my girlfriend's belongings and stuff? Jesus Christ, it's gonna ruin her. Okay? All because, and you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out. Okay, but in the end, it doesn't affect you. I can move on. It's not a big deal. There's a million fish out there, but damn, man.
Well, listen,
you may ruin my relationship with my girlfriend. There's a million fish out there. I'll find some other skag to bang. But, like, come on, dude. Like, yeah, that's what I would be saying. Like, my mom's dead, and I'm worried about my girlfriend running off. And sure, I'll be able to find another one, but fuck, y'all, that's going to be super inconvenient for, like, the first 3 months.
Listen, Levente.
Sure.
Here's the deal, is I don't want your girlfriend to think this. Because there are only 2 things you said when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Okay? We have all this evidence showing
Dude, what else do you want from me?
Listen. What I want is...
Shut
you
up.
to listen for a second.
I'm listening.
Okay.
Right, listening means shutting the fuck up, right? Even if you're not going to listen, at least shut the fuck up.
There's 2 things, Levente, that I know, okay?
Yeah.
One, it's not about who did it, okay? I know you did it. But here's what like the jury's going to see, or Hannah's going to see, more importantly, is you either, 1, you're a cold-blooded killer.
Cold-blooded.
Has no
monster.
remorse and killed your mom, planned it, did it. Or 2,
like, how you packed all the sandwiches and the 12-pack of water. Like,
Drove
definitely
64 hours.
It goes beyond a reasonable doubt of premeditation if you're, like, packing a cooler for a multi-hour drive, dude.
something would happen there when you went to see your mom that I don't know about that you can fill in. And that's the only thing that the jury or Hannah needs to know.
And even still, that'd be a little much.
But this is like a Hail Mary of like, was it an accident? Did she come at you with a knife? Like the whole, like when Chris Watts is like, when the lady detective was like, did she come at you? Was she angry? Did she force you to kill her?
Did
like,
she kill the kids?
Now here at the end, after lie has been dismantled and he's admitted to this, that, and the other, it'd be like, so okay, so I realized all those lies, like now it's time to come clean. Like, did you drive across the country and then she came at you with a knife?
And then
like
you stabbed her 46 times?
Yeah, she was so caught off guard by your cross-country trip to drop in on your mom and the multiple calls that went to voicemail and she finally picked up that she, like, reacted to your presence with, like, violence? Is that what happened, Levante? Because I can explain that to the jury.
Right.
No.
And your
You
girlfriend.
understand that?
She'd totally stay
So,
with you if you stabbed your mom
are you a
46 times
cold-blooded
just
killer?
because of a reason.
Or did something else happen in the house?
I never.
What else
Did
happened?
she fall on the knife 47 times? And you were like, stop, Mom! Stop falling on that knife!
Stop glitching.
What else happened in the house then?
I never saw.
No, that's we're past that.
Well, we are past
All
that.
right,
We've been past
we are.
that for hours.
Are we?
We're way past that.
Way.
I'm telling you, I've already proved it. Okay, that you did this.
No, you haven't.
No!
Maybe not to you, but
He kind of reads a little bit like Gabriel or Renee, too. It's like, the evidence picked you out of like 3 lineups, and you go like, but my hair wasn't cut yet. That don't matter, bitch. Like, once you get picked out of 3 lineups, it's like, well, but I didn't cut my hair.
Okay. To me, Levente, you need to be able to explain this. Because no one else is going to understand. You're the only one who can give us that part.
Look, Casey, I told you, there's no reason for me to hurt my mom.
So
Okay?
why'd you do it?
You want to brand me as a cold-blooded killer?
I don't want to brand you as
or the jury? Fine, but we'll see. But you don't have
did
the
something
evidence.
else happen there?
No, because
You don't have the evidence? Why say that? I mean, do you remember any part of this interrogation I did?
I didn't see my mom. I did not see her, like, face to face, like, interact with her. I did not see her that week. I wanted to surprise her.
Surprise, Mom, I bought weed. What?
her. I wanted to tell her in person that she is going to have a daughter-in-law.
And did you tell her that?
That's stupid.
No, because I didn't see her. I was going to tell her in person. She's been having a tough time with her neighbors. So I wanted to give her some happiness for once. And I wanted to tell her.
For once.
Not over the phone, face to face. And then tell her, look, why don't you take a week off or something like that in December so you could come to Florida and meet her parents?
Why set up the buying the weed as a fleshed out, albeit pathetic and anemic alibi, only to take that sacrificial calf and saw its balls off in front of the detective that you're offering it to as a sacrifice? Be like, no, here, great mighty Detective Casey, here's my reasoning. It's the golden calf if I was buying weed, right? That's the only reason I was going there. But if you don't buy that, I was actually going there to tell her I wanted to get married. Oh, the weed thing? Oh, fuck. I guess, yeah, those don't
I mean,
really
that
make a
did
lot of sense
happen,
together.
but
I did buy weed. However, earlier when I said it was 100% of the reason I was going there, it actually, oh, God, my credibility is shit, right? Fuck.
I've watched the videos with my own eyes. I've looked at all the cell phone tower data.
Okay.
I've looked at
No,
all
I'm
the
not
license plate reader. I've watched.
I'm not denying there's evidence of me going to my mom's house and killing her, but I didn't. I didn't.
honest.
It's true. $30,000 check.
I've watched her apartment complex. There's video all around it.
I'm not denying
Okay, and you go
going...
in that house. You go in that house on video.
I don't.
You do.
I do not.
The fact that we know
I don't even remember it being caught on video. That's what it's like when you cheat on me. Like,
all these things. How do you think I knew about you leaving with a dog? How do you think I knew about?
Because you showed me a video of some guy leaving with a dog.
No, I saw another video of you going in. Okay, that there's no doubt in my mind you were in that house. Tell me what happened in the house that night. Maybe it's something different than what I think.
Nothing,
I stabbed her
nothing
40 plus
happened.
What happened in the house?
Nothing
Crazy,
happened
man.
because I didn't go in the house. I didn't see my mom.
You parked up the street, okay, and you walked down to the house. And then afterwards, you walked back up to your Jeep, and you get in your Jeep and you drive, and you leave the area at about 11 p.m., okay? You get rid of her or turn her mom's phone off right after that, okay? So her phone goes with you, with your Cricket phone and your other phone. We're communicating with towers right from our house.
86 phones with you at this point.
You took her phone with you.
I didn't. Because I didn't see my mom. I didn't go in the house. Look, I'm not in denial.
Okay.
Okay.
no, I'm not in denial. I'm not denying anything, but I'm definitely denying all of your accusations.
I'm not like I don't have dual personalities or anything like that. I'm telling you.
Do you understand that
I mean, technically it's MPD, multiple personality disorder, and the psychological community is still, the jury is out, ironically, on that.
story you gave me
It's bullshit.
about driving 64 hours across country
I know what's
to buy marijuana, $100 worth?
I know.
Do you understand how ridiculous that sounds?
I do know.
So then you should have.
So
How do
and
you
now
leave
you're
now?
laughing again for the umpteenth time in this situation. We're talking about your mother's brutal murder. Woo! Weed.
That weed though, it's crazy, right?
I
Can
bought
I
that
go?
weed. It's and like, isn't that so zany? Like, you know, it's like a Alanis Morissette song. Isn't it ironic? You travel across the country to buy $100 worth of weed and your mom is murdered brutally on the same weekend?
Crazy.
Isn't it ironic?
Now, which door
Understand.
can
You're
I
a
get
smart
out of?
guy.
I do know. No, I understand you completely. And the thing is, like, I can't
I don't think you do.
say anything otherwise.
No, listen to the rest of
Okay.
it. Okay, you bought a prepaid burner phone from Best Buy so you can make this trip to contact your mom. I want you to tell me what each thing means.
Okay. Burner phone, traveling across California, lying about the trip to a detective, not telling anybody about it, including girlfriend, $100 weed, and then visiting mom's house.
Right. So those are all the things. What I asked for was like, what do they all mean? I didn't say, give me a list of the things that incriminate you. Now is your opportunity to tell me why you're not guilty, not give me the reasons I'm giving you as to why you are. Right? Covered in my mom's blood. I pulled the knife from the kitchen block and murdered her, stabbing her over 40 times.
I know what it looks like. A phone, that's weird. Like, why isn't he just calling from his phone? Oh, probably he knows that.
Again, this is you. You don't have to speculate about what you are thinking. Give us the answer to the question asked.
And
don't list the reasons, or rather the pieces of evidence to prove you did it, and then go like, nuh-uh, again, essentially.
also, who out of these people that found out you had this burner phone besides the police, who would have looked at a cell tower to see where you were? Your girlfriend was not going to look and figure out what cell tower you were calling her from.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and he didn't call her. Like, that's the thing. Is like, you can lie to people who don't have the resources, motivation,
Right.
and or are paid to do exactly that.
Cell towers, and I think I already mentioned how I know the cell towers work, so that's established. Traveling across
Yeah, that's established. I know how they work, but no.
across the country and not telling anyone, that's weird. Why doesn't he tell anybody? Okay.
So again, you're
giving me all these.
I asked you why you do these things, and your answer to that is like, yeah, why did I do that?
Huh.
Take that to the jury, my dude. That's a solid fucking case. I think as soon as you get off as not guilty, Sarah Boone needs a lawyer. Oh, wait, you went to jail? Fuck.
Damn.
Prison.
He has a mission or a plan.
To murder.
Visiting mom's house without telling her or telling anybody. That's also weird.
You're doing my job for me, whatever your name is.
Okay.
But the thing is...
Okay, but here's the question I asked. Can you explain... Again, I gave you those bullet points already. I didn't ask you to reiterate the bullet points I gave you. Can you take those bullet points and ascribe a reason for them? Not just go like, yeah, it's weird. So, I don't know what you want, Casey.
Is there any reason you did all
All
this?
that by itself would be weird, except for the time that you went there.
I know.
We find your mom in there.
Right, it would be weird if your mom didn't die. Since she died, it's not weird. It speaks to motive.
Yeah.
Like driving across 7 states to get no weed. Weird.
Okay, if there's some other reason that I don't know about other than you're just being a cold-blooded killer, you know, you can tell me that.
From
I'm a
0 to
cold-blooded
100?
killer.
Yeah, it happens. I've been doing this job a long time. It happens to everyone. People make mistakes. People get frustrated. People get angry. People need things in their lives that they don't have. So there's a lot of reasons people go from 0 to 100.
You've been to my mom's house. There's nothing I need in there. Even the promise ring. Like, I don't care.
Why would him going to your mom's house indicate to him that you need nothing in there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you were going to denigrate her engagement ring down to a promise ring. Like that's like asking for your mom's Lamborghini to like take as a commuter. You're like, hey mom, I gotta get groceries 3-4 times a week, maybe depending on how many friends I have over. Can I borrow the Countach?
I don't care about that. I did not go in the house. I didn't.
How can you say that? How can you sit here and tell me that when I know different? How can you sit here and tell me that?
Because...
Do you know how ridiculous that sounds?
Because I think I'm smarter than you. However, I am stupider than most.
And you haven't
That's
shown me
ridiculous.
evidence that I
That
walked in
won't
the
make
house.
sense to anybody else either. Do you understand that? The only thing that's going to make sense is if you can help explain what happened in there.
I can't because...
He can't, and frankly, I can't anymore because holy fuck. Let's just cut to the chase. He was sentenced. He got sent to prison for murder. He was found guilty, obviously, because
Hannah
it's
broke up with
beyond a
him.
reasonable doubt. And I don't even have all the evidence. Like, there are some... There are ways to just like blow your case up in your own face. And I can't think of a better way to describe how without showing you this footage again. Like, this is everything you shouldn't do, because the people who are guilty but think they are smart will sit through 3-4 hours of being wrung out by the police because they're waiting for that. I don't know. Maybe they feel like maybe Levente felt like he had the upper hand, although it doesn't feel like that. Or he's just waiting for that moment in the interrogation where he can say the right thing and they go, aha. But it's like being on the stand in your own trial when we've gotten to that point. You can go like, there's nothing prosecution can do to break apart direct examination because I'm going to come across as such a whatever.
Yeah.
But and again, there's nothing you can do in this situation. Like we saw it here, it was half-heartedly attempted where you go, well, if you were me, what would you think? And if you're speaking to someone this delusional, they're going to look you straight in the eye with no like sense of irony or any sort of inclination that anything they're doing is wrong. Go like, no, I didn't. And if I were you, I'd let me go and then give me $20 because I'm hungry and I want to get some food. And you've got $20 and you should give it to me because I'm innocent and this has been a pain in the ass.
Yep. I'm gonna go smoke some of that weed that I drove across 7 states
2 weeks ago.
Yep.
So of all the tactics I've seen used, I think that one is the least effective. Like, I've seen the 50-50 of, like, we're past that. Here's all the evidence. Tell me why. There's a make it or break it chance right there to be like, I did it or I didn't, and we'll keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get beyond that, there's a certain point you realize there's diminishing returns where, like, you can get like Levente here. He was able to make some progress, right? We went from I didn't go there, I wasn't in Missouri, to like, yeah, not only did I not travel east like I said I was, but I went so far west I committed a murder and came back.
Yep. But I didn't go in her house, so I didn't do that part. But I was there and I drove by.
And that's just it. We've got a few more minutes. Like the detective leaves the room a little bit for a little while, and Levente comes and like rifles through his papers at some point.
Nice.
Which, if you want to watch that, go ahead. But it's like so frustrating to me. It's just if you're
he looks like he would be a person that would do that.
Made it through life unchecked this far. There's no reason for Levente to think he couldn't get out of this because he's existed as is for, again, like Sarah Boone or anybody else in this delusional state where they go like, I've been such a pain in the ass. No one's stopped me because it would be too much of a hassle.
Yep.
Until you get to that point where you meet someone whose job it is to check you on your bullshit regardless of the hassle, because that's their reason for existing.
Mm-hmm.
Your friends, associates, well-wishers, ill-wishers, enemies aren't going to put in the effort to destroy you, typically because they don't give a fuck. When it's someone's job to give a fuck, you can't be like, come on, man, like, don't look at the things I did, just don't care like
just
the rest
leave
of the
me
people
alone.
in my fucking life. Anyway, that is Levente Lazar. He went to jail for killing his mom because obviously he did it.
Yeah.
The whereabouts of Athena the dog still mysterious to this day. Bit of lost media possibly. Who knows where that dog is at. Hopefully he dropped it off at a place where it got to live out the rest of its life. But I mean, by now it's long dead from old age.
Yeah.
But regardless, there are so many facets of this. It's insane and frustrating, but it's frustrating in a hilarious way instead of like the Letecia Stauch interrogation where she's like shoving tissues down her pants and like saying she's got to take a shower and like grabbing her Coke can, fucking whatever. That's all I got for you. Next week, we've got some good footage coming up. I believe we've got some depending on how we go, I've got some safety training videos in addition to some classic commercials. I hope you join us for that, because I love wallowing in the 90s just as much as Levente loves wallowing in denial. Thank you so much, Tony and Ice Truck Thriller, Matt, and everybody else for showing up. I appreciate you. We'll catch you on another episode of FFOP Radio. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Or they try to.
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.